All right, we are live. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Europa Star Trek game. Um, I am going to fall asleep partway through this introduction, so I guess we'll move along quickly to we'll move along home. Yeah, there you go. To, to Alan Moraine, Brian, you're up.
You learn as you play. Um,
Ooh.
my name is Brian. I am playing Captain Jorad Hage. Um, I have nothing to plug.
Evelyn, you're next on the list. It looks like.
I am Evelyn Corbin. I play Dr. DeSavio Onayet. I also have nothing to plug.
We'll go John. We'll skip it and go to John.
Okay. Hi, I'm John. I play Science Officer and Second Officer Kesrianis Shabarneva, and I have nothing to plug.
Everybody on. All right, Jack, you're up.
Hello, I'm Jack. I play the First Officer, Commander Irani Ambrose, who is currently on medical leave for very interesting reasons that we'll get to shortly. Other than that, I do my own streaming over on my own channel at twitch.tv/The People's Ascension. We are currently taking a 2-week hiatus on the normal D&D game, but we are playing Blades in the Dark this week, and if not again next week, we will be playing some Cyberpunk Red. So if you want to see something new, something other than D&D and other than Star Trek, come hang out on my channel on Saturdays at 2 p.m. US Eastern Time. That's what I got. I'm excited.
I am your host, as always, Jeff Harvey, and this show will be going on a slight hiatus after this episode. John is going to be going and doing whatever John does in his,
Go to
so
John
we'll
things.
What John things doing John stuff. So we're going to take a short break. We'll come back with something yet to be determined, but eventually we will come back to the Star Trek game. It may be that first, but this game is not over. Do not despair. We will be back. I have a D&D game I'm working on, as well as a Klingon game I might be doing. And I have a lot of one-shots for both Alien and Call of Cthulhu that I'd like to do. So we may see some stuff. Other than that, the podcast USSA Pro, but anyway, the podcast STA Engage will be returning in 2 weeks. So keep an eye out for that. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Let's do a quick recap since we don't really have a good way to start this episode that will recap us. So let's go ahead and do a recap. Evelyn, what do you got?
So, we opened with the Tongo recap, and then moved into Ambrose running a drill, and Ambrose got a little shell-shocked and kind of broke Koba. So he tried.
Literally.
What's that?
Literally.
Yep.
Literally broke the Bolian.
You don't scream the enemy war cry when you're going mano on mano with a war survivor.
Well, a lesson he is.
when you're going
I'm
mano
certain
on mano with a war
the commander
survivor.
tried to resign. The captain
lesson
was,
he is
wasn't
when
really
you're-
having
when
it.
you're going
I'm
mano
certain.
on-
The captain decided that instead Ambrose would take some leave and start a support group. And let's see, Cass is kind of sort of the stand-in XO. She was vying. She was trying to edge in there. Caught that. Until Ambrose comes back. And then we also got word from Admiral Orlani? No.
Aralani, yeah.
Aralani. That General Martok is missing. Worf is on his way to Kronos, and General Kargan, or with General Kargan, something about General Kargan. These notes were a mess, and I didn't do a proper recap. Sorry. To intercept a member of House Duras. They've requested our help. And let's see, Tong, Cass, and Kostra were working on getting Eva back onto the Europa. And they talked a little bit more about getting like a hollow body for Eva, which she's looking forward to. And let's see here. Delphine and Shajin started doing a little flirting, planning a nice ski trip to Andoria. And we discovered that Teketh is actually a Romulan spy.
The audience discovered that.
The audience discovered. We knew.
Yes. Well, the crew does not know. The audience.
Right, the crew
knows.
does not know.
Yeah.
The audience knows.
Yep. An important distinction before
Yeah.
Ambrose
Yes.
bursts in there and starts phasering somebody.
Mhm.
And Ambrose snagged Koba to apologize and teach him some hand-to-hand moves.
Right.
And we closed out getting a distress signal from the Avenger. Ambassador Worf said we've been attacked by, and then it was cut off.
And then
We
there
got-
was.
We got a
Yep.
transmission from Taral of Duras. It said, "Today begins the reign of the true empire. I claim my birthright as the true emperor. Kel Ikam," I think, because I don't speak Klingon. So I may have just insulted your mother. I don't know.
Yeah. It's Kelly Cam is how it's pronounced. Which sounds an awful lot like Kelly Cam, which is how apparently they measure stuff, but that's not
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
So
I was wondering about that.
yeah, I used a Klingon translator because I'm a nerd. I'm not that much of a nerd. Close though, because Duolingo will teach you Klingon.
Yes.
Yep.
So the last words that were spoken were, "Today begins the reign of the true Klingon Empire. I, Terrell, son of Duras, bearer of the sword of Kahless, destroyer of the usurper Martok, and his Federation puppets on the High Council, claim my birthright as Emperor. This is the first step in the Klingon Empire's taking its place as the true leaders of the Alpha Quadrant, Kelly Kam," which those of you who speak Klingon is a rough should theoretically be a rough translation to Crimson Tide.
You're gonna get
or-
so many
or
hate
Blood Tide.
messages in your YouTube comments, like correcting your terrible Klingon.
That's okay. Bring your hate, nerds. I love it. The tears of nerds fuels me, mostly because it's my own tears also.
Yeah,
Yes. On that note, does anyone else have anything they want to add to that recap or clarify on that recap, or have questions about the things she said that may have been wrong?
I mean, it's entirely possible. I was taking notes furiously last week, and I'm pretty sure I missed some stuff.
Kargan is still on Narendra, right? He's in charge
No.
of Narendra. No?
He isn't. He is the Klingon in charge of Narendra, but the captain, Captain Hage, had challenged him to some blood whining by having him go out and deal with the Klingon threat that was being exposed earlier. So he has gone out to deal with the Klingon threat, as it were, in the area.
Okay.
So he is still in the system, but he is like on a warship at the moment doing Klingon things.
But we haven't heard from him. We heard from
You-
somebody else.
Correct. You
We
have
heard
not
from
heard from
Worf.
him. You heard from Worf,
Right.
who was aboard the USS Avenger to go to Kronos
Kronos.
in an effort to mitigate the situation. Martok was believed to be killed during an attack, although he's unknown for sure. An attack that appears to have destroyed the Klingon High Council chambers, killing Martok and the rest of the High Council, or at least the majority of the High Council. And then the USS Avenger was attacked. At the end of that, we do not know the fate of the Avenger, but we lost transmission, and then Taral, son of Duras, came on and spouted his Klingon gibberish. So,
Okay, well, take it away, Starfleet officers. I'm on vacation.
vacation less so than mandated therapy.
Yeah, that tomato tomato.
Which we can go ahead and we can start with that. There's a number of people in the therapy session. You've got
We
your
can do it.
yeah, jump right into it. Because there's nothing quite like
Cold
Dr.
open therapy session.
the Dr. Katz episode of Star Trek.
Yeah.
No one's gonna get that reference. So Ambrose and I don't know what other PCs wanted to be there, but I know Ambrose was going to be in therapy, as well as I have a few other people who can go and do.
I think Malini Silva is going to be there.
Well, obviously the therapist is going to be there because Ambrose
Yeah.
is not running this show alone.
Oh yeah, yeah. Vega's like, come on.
Silva, Vega,
Dasavi would be there. Ambrosius.
Ambrosius and Dasavi. Where's Dasavi? There we go. All right. There are also a few other random former, not former survivors, but survivors of the Dominion War, of the former Dominion War.
They've stopped surviving at this point.
They've stopped surviving at this point.
They're with us in spirit.
So go ahead and start the way there, Mr. Vega, since you're the counselor leading the.
You've all been told that the war is over. And of course, that's true. The war is over. But that doesn't mean we leave it behind. Some of you have spoken with me. Some of you, I've heard, spoken to each other. And you all share experiences that a lot of this crew doesn't. And that might, in some ways, set you apart. How you process that, what that means to you, how you let your past shape your present and your future, those are choices. And I'm here with you all, even though I'm not one of you, to help you explore and make those choices in a way that works for you in the first instance, and for your colleagues and for the ship in the second. So, anybody want to start us off? What's different? How is being here strange? How is being around people who haven't shared your experiences weird?
Well, I don't know if I don't know if any of you can say you've shared my experience. You know, at least you all had a planet to go back to when after the war. The colony I'm from was completely wiped from the map. It no longer exists. All my friends were hunted down and killed by the Dominion. I sat out the end of the war in a prison camp. Can any of you say that you've had anything close to that?
Vega's
Dasavi-
totally not looking at Ambrose.
Dasavi gently gives Ambrose a mental nudge.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say, you just feel a wave of expansion coming off of Ambrose.
I'd like to point out, out of character, that Beta Z was actually besieged by the Dominion as well. So,
Yep.
I appreciate that. I am not through to the Dominion War. In fact, I'm just to the part where Ducat has joined Cardassia to
Oh, wow.
to the Dominion. So
Okay.
That's a good one.
I am
That
not
is-
up there yet.
Okay,
So thank you.
no problem.
It's
don't
a
go into any
minor event in the war.
Right.
Well, they don't go into any detail beyond that. It's major in the universe, but yeah, they don't talk about it much.
Mm.
So, you know, do what you want with it.
Right.
Go nuts.
I mean, Dasavi was also on basically a hospital ship during the war, so she was actively involved in a, not front lines role, but that is good information to have. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So with that mental nudge from Dasavi, Ambrose will reluctantly sort of stand up, step forward, however this is being orchestrated. Home is a lot more than the planet you were born on. Planet you have a home on, a house, a yard. I grew up in the stars, among the stars, on space stations, on ships. Every ship I've served on, I've made it my home. This is my home now. And I've lost many homes. I've lost many friends. And I too spent time in a Jem'Hadar prison camp. I know what they do.
Malini nods solemnly.
I think what the doctor here is getting at is that while none of us have gone through the exact same experience, there are parts in each of our experiences that we can find common ground with each other. Maybe on that common ground we can build some sort of foundation. Make a new home.
Foundation is a good way to put it. There's a lot that you'll probably end up wanting to build on that, but start strong. And if you can find the commonalities with each other, and open your shared experience to include the experiences of others who went through similar things, well, maybe that's the first step to making this ship, this time, this Starfleet home again.
In war, there's not a lot of time to process, to talk about these things. And more so than time is fitness, motivation, your place in the fight. We don't have, many of us, I would assume, did not have time nor the luxury to voice these concerns before. Because if we did, we'd be taken off the fight, where we belong. Some of us chose to be there. Some of us were forced there. But I think for people like us, the reason we are here, the reason we are stuck there, is eventually that's where we wanted to be. For whatever reason, duty, honor, proving something to ourselves, whatever it was, being forced off the line was worse than dying on the line. We're not on the line anymore.
The fight where we belong. And now that the fight's over,
Doesn't feel over. I mean, I know the Dominion's gone and so are the Maquis, but it still doesn't feel over. I don't know if it ever will.
There's always something else. They said the war was over after the Borg, and then came the Dominion. Cardassia, the Klingons for a short time. We're at an unusual state of peace right now.
are you looking for a war to belong to?
To be honest, I'm just looking for somewhere to belong to. Starfleet seems to be it.
But you don't feel like you do belong.
I mean, I'm sure everybody feels like that sometimes, but no, to be honest, I don't. My people fought against Starfleet. We were enemies. I never shot at Starfleet members, but I've certainly pulled off my share of smuggling runs. And they were against Starfleet ships. So no, I don't feel like I belong here.
Do you want to? You
Yes.
feel like you belong.
Yes.
All right. All
That's
right. That's where we can start. Because that's an impetus to change, to move out of the time before. And it's easy to stay in the time before because horrible as it was for many of you, it offered meaning, it offered certainty, it offered direction. And those things are harder to find in peacetime and in a more relaxed environment. But if this is something you want, we can get you there. If it isn't, for those of you it isn't, maybe we can find where you do belong or want to belong. But the wanting to belong, that's a good step.
This is what we fought for. But many of us have been fighting so long, we don't remember what it's like not to fight. But many of us.
That seems like a good spot to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Who's got something next? Anybody? Or what is the ship doing in that case if we don't have a next scene?
Yeah, so I think the ship is looking for Thrall. We should try and triangulate that communication, see if we can figure out where it was coming from.
Okay. Oh, did I just lose audio? Or is that? Oh, never mind. I heard less background noise. I thought maybe I dropped audio. It must have been somebody muted there. All right. Give me go ahead and whoever wants to do science for the triangulations can go ahead and give me a science and control roll.
Okay.
Or reason. Either one works.
Let's do control. Let me see if any focus is apply. I don't think I can even try to argue for any of that stuff, so just gonna do it. Oh,
Starting off strong.
wow.
The ship explodes.
Oh,
The end.
balls.
Game over.
Yeah.
Well, that's one way to end the first season.
Well, I was gonna have the ship also roll, but apparently I'm not. Nope, it just keeps giving me errors.
Yeah. And I didn't buy a die, so I can't use cautious science.
Well, the ship is an assist, right? An assist only works if the person who does it succeeds.
Yeah, but you can still get additional complications. So.
Oh, I see.
Oh, great.
Thanks. We need those.
Yeah. I didn't get any, so it doesn't matter.
If they get one success, they assist. You don't necessarily have to succeed with just the main person, but you need at least one success.
Correct. Yes. But I did not, and that's a complication. I'm just going to go ahead and take my threat. So, because I don't have anything to complicate it with right now. You do not have a good location. However, the last you'd heard from Starfleet was the Avenger was at Kronos, but you get a report from Narendra Station that the Avenger appears to have been destroyed.
Oh.
Let's see, where was I with this other one? There we go. As for General Kargan, he is He was last heard from in the Calamite sector, where he was pursuing a lead. He has not been heard from since.
What
Awesome.
sector?
I think it's yeah,
You stepped on each other. I missed that.
Calamite is what I said.
Calamide.
I think it's what I said anyway. That's what I meant to say.
Sounds like we need to head to this Calamite sector.
St. Falks will be glad to take you there.
Punch it, Ensign.
Sir, yes, sir.
And I think Jorad is going to begin programming in a search pattern, like come up with a couple different ways to tackle the search. Like we'll do a octagonal grid pattern, that kind of thing.
Okay. You going to have a meeting with the crew to discuss expectations or anything like that, or just want to jump into it?
Yeah, we should probably do a senior staff meeting. Jorad will definitely contemplate inviting Ambrose, but he knows Ambrose needs to concentrate on himself right now. So instead, he will invite. We have Mills in on this, since she's the second in command or she's basically second in command for security. I definitely want to. I also definitely want to get one of Jack's characters in on it as well. So maybe Tom.
I mean, Tong is an ensign. He's not senior
Yeah.
staff at all.
Voyager.
Would it make sense to maybe have Shajin in case you needed to do some combat flight when we get into the sector?
You could also have her there as a, this is the search pattern we're going to be doing kind of thing.
Well, you guys shot down my Peregrine squadron idea, so you guys don't have a fleet of Peregrines to help with this.
So Shajin's just gonna walk into the meeting, say "I told you so," and walk
Told
out.
you so. Where's all my Peregrines?
The captain just wants more voices in the room. So yeah, Jack, if you think Jisa is the best person to have, let's get her invited.
Yeah, I mean, I assume we have plenty of other shuttlecrafts that can assist in a search pattern. So
Yeah,
Jisa would probably be the one who coordinates, all the shuttlecrafts.
yeah. So we'll get Jisa, we'll get Mills, and do you want to play Oni yet, or should she sit out of this meeting?
It would make sense for you to have her both from a, we said you're going to learn how to be in command shit, and from a things might go sideways, you should prep the med bay.
Sure. I just wanted to make sure you were okay with having two characters at the scene.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay, well then that sounds good. And then Cass, obviously.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we're all in the meeting room. Jorad will bring up a hologram. Just this is the search pattern I sketched out. I took the liberty of doing a little bit of planning, but I want to hear everybody's voices. Any ideas to find these Klingon fugitives?
I wonder if we could use any of Eva's capabilities to assist us in terms of maybe extrapolating from known Klingon patrol patterns, or making some use of some of the data we have on hand that we don't necessarily see a connection with.
That's a good idea. We should definitely do that no matter what plan we put into practice. I trust you'll see to that.
Absolutely, sir.
Anybody else?
Or actually, since we discussed the matter, perhaps that would be something that Ensign Tong might see to if I'm needed elsewhere for the time being.
Very well. Yeah, well, I would not like to take you off sensors. So yeah, put Tong on it. Any other ideas? Remember, there's no bad ideas.
Are we looking for survivors? Are we looking for Kargan? Or are we looking for the people who did this?
That Mel says that is a very good question. What exactly are we expecting to walk into?
But we know that I think we can assume that the Klingon fugitive is armed and dangerous, seeing as how he destroyed the Avenger. So I think our first, as much as I want to rescue any survivors of the Avenger, I think our first priority is neutralizing him as a threat, or else we're just liable to get ambushed while doing our rescue maneuvers.
Do we know anything about this force? Single ship, small squadron? Do they have a base? Do they have support?
We can reach out to the general. He might be able to give us that information.
I thought that's who we were looking for.
Wait, are we looking? When I say the general, I mean the friendly general.
Right. General
Yeah.
Kargan has gone. He has been out of
Right.
communication since going to the system. So
Yeah,
You're right.
he's the guy we're looking for.
Yep. Sorry, I brain farted. Yeah. No, I don't think we do know.
Out of character clarification, Kronos is not in the Calamide system, or are they? Okay, so we are heading not in the same direction that the Kronos is attacked and assumed Worf is dead, kind of thing.
right. Kronos is in Klingon space. The
Right.
Avenger was there.
Yeah.
The general is still in
Not our
the
problem.
Expanse.
Right.
And you could go to Kronos if you wanted to. You certainly have that option.
It would take a couple months.
It'd take a little time to get there, but you could certainly do it.
Yeah.
But am I right that we think Tal is in this sector? Raul?
As far as you know, General Kargan, not Kerrigan, General Kargan has been in the Calamide sector looking for fugitives. It's suspected that Taral is, if not one of the fugitives, at least that he may be in charge of the fugitives. That may or may not be. He may or may not be in that sector, but that's the last place that Kerrigan was known to have been, and where he had last reported the majority of the Klingon activity seems to be pointing to. He was investigating a lead in that system,
So
and he has not been heard of since.
basically, the whole Klingon coup thing, not really our problem, and our problem is the bands of rogue Klingons out here that Kargan is tracking down. Is that right?
Which are connected to the
Which
Taral
work
issue,
for,
right?
yeah, for Dross.
Okay.
Are theoretically connected.
Theoretically.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Yeah. So I think our first priority should be to find the rogue Klingons. Second priority should be to find the general. And then obviously if we get word about Taral, we should definitely hunt him down.
Yes.
Sounds good, sir.
Sir.
All right. Well, unless anybody else has any angles of attack on this, I'd say we go ahead and begin our search pattern, engaging a full sensor sweep, as well as consult with Eva and see if she can add her algorithmic
We are
analysis.
expecting cloaking devices, right? Sensor suites are going to be difficult.
We may find debris or some other signifier. And who knows, we might get lucky and detect the cloak
I'd
ship.
suggest we focus on places where they could hide naturally. Planets with high electromagnetic poles, pulsars, strong suns.
I'd imagine there are quite a few of those in the sector, but I'd prefer something more systematic. But you raise a good point of we might be able to, if they are hiding in the brush, we might be able to thrush them out.
And if we do find debris, they could be a kilometer away, cloaked, ready to pounce on us. It is a common tactic the Klingons have used before.
Yeah, it's a risk we'll have to take, I think. Don't worry, the Europa is strong enough that I think we'll be able to, we won't be taken out easily.
Could we send probes out with falsified signatures to make them look like, or make them project a ship signature, thus luring a cloaked ship into attack.
We could give it a try. I suppose there's no harm in it. But I worry that a cloaked ship would be able to get close enough to see that they're probes before firing. We could give it a try. At the very least, it might give us cover, make us harder to find because there will be multiple signals.
We could mobilize a few different, or all of our shuttles, set up a field between them. That way, if a cloaked ship does maneuver between any 3 of those points, we'll see them break through that field. And it could widen our search grid.
An interesting thought. I like that idea. Let's put that in action.
If anything does happen, we could lose some shuttles. And obviously the pilots on board. They aren't as hardy as this science ship we're flying around in.
No, but we could utilize worker bees instead of shuttles.
They're not as fast. Their sensors aren't as sophisticated.
They don't have warp.
Fair.
Yeah, they won't be able to keep up with us.
I think we'll have to risk it with the shuttles. We've got a capable crew, and I think they'll be able to hold their own long enough that we can at least get to backup. We'll stay in a reserve position, and this first sign of trouble will warp in and help whoever might be who might have spotted the Klingons. All right. Well, okay. So, Kiss, I want you to talk to. I want you on the sensors, full sweep. See what you can find, even if it's not the Klingon ships. Try to find whatever debris or hints you may have found where they may have gone. We'll put Ensign Tom on have him consult with Eva and see if we can run some kind of predictive algorithm. And we'll also have Jisa, you'll set up a sensor net between the shuttles to give us some extra coverage. Mills, I'd like you to prepare for standby.
Yes, sir.
Prepare for a combat situation.
Already planning on it, sir. I'll have the engineers add some backup power to the shields and bolster those, as well as the weapon systems.
Klingons also like to bring the fight into melee. If they find a way on this ship, transports, shuttle, whatnot, we need people in the hallways. We don't need Klingons running around cutting us down with batleths while we're trying to fight an invisible enemy.
We'll be ready.
Well, with that settled, let's be about it.
All right. For my clarification, what are you doing with it? How are you going to do the shuttles? Like, where are they going to be stationed and that kind of thing? Like, I assume you're trying to do the Tetrion net that Picard did.
Basically.
But like, where is it going to be located, and how are you going to coordinate with that?
Well, we have, how many shuttles do we have? Where is that in this vast document? We have quite a few, right?
You have quite a few.
Yeah, so I mean, I'd say we just set up like a big honeycomb like sensor grid and just go.
Like, have them out in front of you and just kind of be a cattle sweeper.
My original thought was that the Europa would be in the center of it, but it seems that Hage's thought was that the Europa was hanging back and was going to run in at the first sign of trouble.
Same difference.
Either way works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure that they're going to be out in front of you, like at warp, so you guys are going to be going way slower than normal, because the shuttlecraft are not capable of going warp 9.8.
No, but we don't travel at warp 9.8 normally, right? We travel at cruising speed of like
5-ish.
7 at
I think
most.
this one is 7 or this one's 7 or 8. Yeah,
and runabouts can do 7.
Yeah.
The
The cruising speed of the Europa is warp 7.
yeah.
You've got 4 Type 9, 2 Type 6, 1 Type 9 cargo shuttle, 2 Type 1, 18 shuttle pods, which don't have warp,
Mhm.
2 runabouts, and 4 worker bees, which don't have warp.
Yeah, we'll have the runabouts and the shuttles moving faster than cruising, and we'll be moving cruising.
So you're going to limit the amount of time that they can actually be flying, which is fine.
Yeah.
And you just want them out in front of you as a human shield, basically.
No, I mean, the widest coverage is what we're after. So we're using the shuttles to extend our coverage net.
Okay.
I
So
think
the
probes
Type
were more the
9s
human shieldy kind of thing.
Well, the probes, I think we're going to send those out to different areas, and
Yeah, like away from us.
yeah,
So the Type 9s and Type 6s, they can travel at warp 7?
I believe they can. We can
Okay.
say they can. I don't.
Okay.
I don't know the exact speeds of the warp, of the warp 6s and the warp 9 or the Type 9, but I'm pretty sure the Type 9s can at the very least.
I forgot to put somebody on the probes. I think Mills should do that as well. I think Mills can get that going. Launch the probes.
That'd be
Are probes tactical?
something better for.
Well, they launched out of the.
Costa?
They
I
launched
guess
out,
launching them is tactical.
Oh yeah.
Analyzing them would be science,
Yes.
but I
Do
mean, you
your
could fire the
science
probes.
there, Yeah.
So I've implemented I would like to try to roll to provide an advantage to people for my expert planning.
Okay. You also have the arrow wing.
Yeah, we should have the arrow wing out as well.
Mhm.
Definitely. Are folks okay if I use the momentum?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's fine.
Sure.
With command plus presence, I assume. That would be 3 successes.
Nice.
Nice.
So if the difficulty was 2, which I think is the default for creating an advantage, we would get advantage for, let's say thorough plan advantage. I don't know.
Right.
Um,
You can apply it to basically one roll, right?
Usually advantages you can apply to multiple rolls. Any that would be applicable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's creating an advantage for the
For
scene.
the scene.
I
Yeah.
gotcha.
So it's like our sensor net is exceptionally well designed, or our search pattern is really well designed, or
Right. It's just like when spending threat to impose something like sensors down because of, or sensors damage because of nebulas. I gotcha. Man, I'm having all kinds of internet problems tonight, and I don't know what the deal is.
Hmm.
Oh,
Dan
I do.
Streaming again.
No, Dan's not here, but I think they're playing. I think there's a group of people playing SWOTOR tonight. So
Oh, right.
Star Wars Day.
Star Wars
Yep.
Day.
Just a second. I'll be right back. Keep going.
Actually, let's go ahead and take 5 anyways. We'll jump back in. I gotta return a phone call anyway, so let's go ahead and take 5 and come right back.
Cool.
okay.
No, you're good.
And we're back. So, as I was telling everyone else, this might be an unnaturally shortened episode due to battery life, but we'll see. We'll get what we can. So you decided you're going to set up this amorphous energy net, sensor net, I guess, with shuttles and whatnot. So you'll have to decide what shuttles you want to send out and who, if anyone, is going on them, because they are definitely going to be targets worth shooting at. Other than that, you're sending out probes to do a wider range search, right? And you're looking for General Kargan and his ship, if possible,
Yeah.
or some signs thereof that he may or may not be around.
Right.
All right. Any PCs and any shuttles, or are we just going to leave that to the nameless, faceless crew?
Hey, Shajin's taking the lead. Yep.
Yeah, story-wise, I think it'd be interesting if Malini Silva was co-piloting with Jissa.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Okay.
Do we want to use a runabout for that, or do we want to send them out in the Minos? Are we calling it the yacht?
Yeah.
the Arrow Wing.
I mean, you're the Arrow Wing pilot, so
That is true. I always default to the mindset that the Arrow Wing is a diplomatic ship, but it is also the strongest shuttle we have.
Mhm.
So yeah, Shajin and Malini.
Silva?
Yeah, Malini Silva will be in the Arrow Wing. I think everybody else is just going to be red shirts.
Mhm.
All right. So Shajin and we said Silva.
Could I make a roll? Say perhaps with Daring and Khan, with my electronic warfare focus, to design this sensor grid that we're setting up.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. That's Shajin doing that, I assume?
Yes. Yeah. Mind if I spend a focus on this? I imagine this is going to be important.
Spend away.
Go for it.
I will spend one for that extra dice.
although I am wondering what's the mechanical effect you're going for? Are you trying to find it, or
I would assume it's basically adding another advantage to anything that would apply to the sensor net.
gotcha? Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, I don't think of things in terms of mechanical bonuses. I'm just like, this is what is happening. You tell me if I need to roll, but if I don't need to roll, we can just say that she sets up this sensor grid and she is a professional. She does a good job.
Well, I figure we'll throw a mechanical effect on there if you succeed. So.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Let's do
The
this.
mechanical effect is you are the target.
Oh,
Let's see. That is
That would not be a
one,
bad mechanical
two,
effect. I'd much rather
3.
PC.
What was my target here? My target was 14, so that's 3 successes because the 2 is a critical with focus.
Okay.
And if
Alright,
we're just calling it an advantage, then I believe a pass with a momentum.
Yes. All right. So you've got the grid set up. You are in the system. I assume you're not going to be traveling warp the entire time this grid is up, but you're in system. You're running your scans. You've got your grid network shield vaguely amorphously out there in space doing whatever it does mechanically for whatever it's doing. The sensors, actually, you know what? Go ahead and let's have Ambrose isn't there. I can get rid of his picture. Let's go ahead and Kaz do a sensor check. I'll say that you difficulties because you have the probes and all the advantage and everything else that's going on. I would say that your difficulty is going to be 1.
okay.
Can Yezabeth be in the sensor pod attuning things just right to get that sweet sensor action?
I'm not going to give another. I mean, we're already giving 2 advantage to the scene. So I'm not going to do another one.
And the ship
But
gets
you can
to roll.
assist.
I just wanted to assist. Yeah.
Yeah, you can assist.
I'd like to spend another because then I can re-roll it and I've crit failed previously.
Okay.
So, okay, rolling 3, no focus.
Nice. I'm guessing that's
2.
2. Oh, 11 wouldn't be
No,
enough.
3. No, 3.
No, it's
sorry.
3.
3, yeah.
3 plus. I'm guessing that one is a success from.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I assist.
All right, so that gives you 3 momentum. You do succeed.
Ship assist
Um,
also?
Oh yeah,
I can roll it.
I got it. Oh yeah, you already rolled, so it's fine. 12 is a success.
Okay, so that's
Nice.
5 successes on difficulty 1.
Yep. So 4. So you have 4 momentum to spend.
Beautiful.
You do not find any wreckage of a Klingon warship, but you do find what looks to be a distinctive warp signature from a Klingon ship that, with that level of advantage, I would say you can go ahead and tell that it is the general's ship.
Okay.
There was some kind of subspace interference. There's some kind of subspace mumbo jumbo here that it appears there was clearly a battle, but there is no significant wreckage. And you do have a signal going off, but you can ask additional questions with your 4 momentum that you have.
So trace damage, but no like hull or anything.
No ship was destroyed.
Gotcha.
There may be like minute bits of particle debris and stuff like that, but for the most part, it's just an energy signature.
What kind of? Oh, and I have studios too, so I'll get an extra question also.
Yeah. So you're at five questions then.
Yeah. How many ships and what kind?
It's hard to say how many. You would gather at least 3 ships.
Okay.
Probably all Klingon in nature. Klingon. They're all definitely using disruptor technology.
Okay. How recently?
At the rate of decay you're seeing for the ionization trail, probably within the last 2 days.
Eek.
Yeah, 3 more.
Anybody got anything?
Are we able to
Can we-
Are we able to tell the size of the ship from the amount of damage that was done, like the size of the attacking ship?
It'd be hard to say because the debris might be from any without getting really like pulling pieces in and doing long-term scans on it. It'd be hard to say.
But blast patterns and weapon signatures, because bigger ships shoot harder.
They do, but it'd be 3 fairly large ships because the general ship was a Navar, or not a Navar, a Vorcha. So you're looking at least a Vorcha or larger. You're looking at least 1 or 2 Vorchas or larger.
Battle cruiser sized.
Yeah, total. Like there's no debris of like smaller like cavorts or barrels.
Okay.
Can we tell the direction the other ships went? We picked up
that's
Kargans.
good.
Yeah. So once they meet in the system, they kind of all seem to go in the same direction.
Okay.
Well,
Somebody's chasing somebody.
I think we know which direction we're headed in.
You have 1 more question. Or you can save the momentum.
I think Brian's question and mine were pretty much the same because we were both asking how many ships and what kind.
Sure.
I don't have anything. Let's maybe bank them for later.
And
That-
yeah, we actually get to bank 2 more because of plan of action, my talent, gives you
Oh,
my advantage. So
okay. So that fills us up.
You can bank 2 that you didn't have.
well, we succeeded handily. So I did not mention that my plan of action, if an ally succeeds at a task that was made possible by the advantage, you get 2 bonus. Oh, it cannot be saved. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Never mind then.
So we use those for the questions and
Right, and then bank the other 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a silly rule when you think about it.
It's just a matter of what order you use stuff in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, you have that information.
Cool.
So apparently the Type 6 and Type 9 shuttlecraft has a maximum warp speed of 4. Warp 4.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we're
While
Gonna be
traveling at
moving
warp,
slow.
if you want them to go with you, you will be going much slower.
We might want to stick with just the runabouts and well, we
Airline.
have what we're looking for. We don't even really need them to do their search pattern anymore.
Yeah, because we
I
know they're
think the plan-
they're
Well-
2 days ahead of us.
I think the plan for them was though to try to detect incoming
Right.
cloaked
Yeah.
ships.
Mhm.
That's fair. Okay, let's restrict it to just runabouts and the yacht or the wave rider.
okay.
Arrowing?
The Arrow Wing,
It's the Arrowwing, yeah.
whatever we want to call it. So
It's
that's only 3 ships.
That-
Not much of a grid,
That's enough to try.
but it's something. Yeah. Yeah.
With Europa, that's 4. So
I think that's enough, and I think the speed trade-off is worth it.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I was going to say it wasn't, but if we're 2 days behind, we've got a haul.
Right, if we're in pursuit.
So we'll call in the shuttles. We'll have the runabouts change their formation to compensate as best they can, and we'll head in the direction of the ion trails.
Would you be able to tell from the warp signatures how fast they were traveling? Or is that other than like we're about 2 days behind them?
You probably could if you hadn't already banked your stuff. But
Okay.
they're going at the speed of whatever it takes for you guys to get there.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Moving at the speed of plot.
moving
Right.
at the speed of plot. Generally, they're going faster than warp 4. So, because who would want to go warp 4? It's like the least effective warp.
It's better than Warp 3.
The
It's
worst
better
of
than
all
warp
the
3.
warps.
So you are following the warp trail and whatnot. Eventually, after a few, unless anyone has any other scenes they want to do while you're traveling, we can jump forward to it. But if you are not doing, if no one has a scene, I will jump forward to you what you find next. So
I wouldn't mind doing a small scene between Cass and Yezbeth. It seems like they work a lot together, but we haven't done much with those two. Just like to do a small thing with them working together to see what that's like.
Sure.
So Yezbeth comes up with the look at the resolution. Look at the resolution on these Mark 6 photon scanners.
That's wow. No
We
wonder we got such good data in.
we were able to. Can you imagine the amount of work that has to go into these sensors? They're so precise you can detect the number of grooves on the screws from 3 solar systems out.
And that's probably useful to somebody, but I'm glad we got the capability.
I mean, who cares if it's useful, if it's cool?
Spoken like a true scientist, you'll go far.
Thanks, Lieutenant. Well, I bet I better get back down there. We've got more scanning to do.
Keep your eyes peeled, as they say, which is a very disgusting human expression, but you know, there you have it.
She thinks about it for a second. Well, okay. And then she hurries back to her post.
Cool.
after a while of being at warp and running through your scans and whatnot, your network of ships that's out there. What was that? Silva and Shijin. Yes, put these guys down here so I can remember where they are. All right. You do come across some additional debris. Your first scans that you give, it is clearly Klingon debris. It is a Klingon warship, but it does not match known designs that you can tell so far. So go ahead and give me another science roll.
Okay. I'd like to spend a momentum again on this one.
The ship rolls an 18, so that's no good.
No focus. 3 successes.
Is Elizabeth helping on that one? Oh man. Oh, the sleepness.
Oof.
Oof.
No,
Not
she's not.
particularly.
Not hurting though. So,
Yeah.
so you have 3. I will say that 2 is difficult. Well, I should have said 2 is difficulty. I'll say 1 is difficulty because I didn't say before. So that gives you 2. 2 plus I'm guessing you have studious, so 3 questions, right?
Uh-huh.
Klingon debris, definitely not a known design.
Not a known design. Is there anything to indicate its origin? Was it made out here? Was it made in the Empire?
The materials are not generally Klingon standard, so they're either obtained from somewhere in this region or from an outside party. They are not standard Klingon materials. They do bear a lot of the Klingon signatures, so they're clearly Klingon. Plus, you can see debris that looks fairly Klingon.
Okay, recent construction, state of the art.
State of the art. Yep.
All right.
In fact, you could assume that it's the characteristics you're getting from some of these materials is this wasn't a very large ship, maybe a little bigger than a Reliant class, I should say, which is
Miranda class, you mean?
no, a Reliant class. So this is a Reliant class.
STO.
Yes, and actually that's what the Avenger is.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay.
Okay.
A little bit bigger than that, which those are only a little bit bigger than I guess Miranda's really, come to think of it. So a little bit bigger than that, but far more durable. The materials that you're seeing would be they are more durable pound for pound than Starfleet ships would be.
They've got more grooves on the screws than expected.
Right. They're riveted together with a higher quality material.
Yeah.
They use Tester's paint.
Okay, recent new design. Are there any known or identifiable other elements in the design or manufacture? Like, does it share anything in common with Romulans or some third culture or anything else we've seen?
There are some design elements that are not too dissimilar to some of the more modern Romulan ships that you've seen, or that you have heard rumors of, if not seen. And the ship can actually give you an extrapolated concept of what the ship looks like. And here you are.
Ooh.
I love this design.
Yeah.
I really just tried to twirl this to see the other side.
That's
Not how that works.
not how that works.
Awesome.
Although I could do
Yep.
that for you, and I could do that next
Yep.
time I'm on Star Trek Online. I can show you because I have one of those.
Thanks.
I haven't played in ages. That's very cool.
I play long enough to get images of ships.
That's what I've been doing for the past couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Character designs and ships.
Yep.
Okay. I don't have anything else.
All right, you have one more question. If anybody else wants to ask it.
Would we be able to get just from the information we have, tactical systems, shields, weapons,
No.
or at least like weapon types?
Disruptors. Clearly disruptors
Disruptors.
and torpedoes
Okay.
of some variety, because the signatures in the area are definitively disruptors and torpedoes. Although I will say that as your last question, you do get signs of high yield torpedoes, something along the lines of quantum or better.
Better.
Quantum or better. They
Well,
could just
no,
be
there
really
wasn't
high.
or better.
They could just be high yield quantum torpedoes.
Okay.
Can we take, not part of the questions, when that information gets back to Mills, can we take that with her, coupled with her focuses in like tactical systems and security well, not really security systems, more just tactical systems, and what's the word I want? Optimize the shields against that.
Without seeing it in action, probably not.
Okay.
You get a general idea of what it would be doing, but it's pretty conventional warfare as far as you can tell.
Okay, so nothing
it wouldn't be
particularly.
special. It's just like they're not like trilithium cobalt device high yield. You know, they're not like Voyager one time one plot. Let's blow up and let's violate the Prime Directive and get ourselves stuck here kind of devices. They're
fun.
yeah they're high yield, but they're not necessarily any more high yield than a quantum torpedo would be set to high yield.
Okay.
So
It's obviously an advanced ship. That's
it's clearly an advanced vessel.
Yeah.
And suggesting of collaboration with the Romulans and possibly a manufacturing base out here. Lucky us.
Certainly raises questions. Let's pursue it at full speed.
Okay. You continue on your travels, your investigation, leaving behind the debris. Anyone else have any scenes they want to do, or we continue forward?
No, that's appropriate here.
I am curious what Ambrose is doing right now.
Yeah.
Well, nobody's looped Ambrose into the situation, so he's assuming it's just an average day out in space, just one of the many where we are just traveling through the stars because space is big.
Until he walks out into the hall and sees a bunch of security standing at the ready.
I mean, how long is this taking? Because space is big. I know we're moving at the speed of plot, but is this something that's taking hours? It's taking weeks.
You're probably going to expect at least hours to days for the whole thing.
Okay.
You arrived in system, found the information, and from there it's probably going to take hours. So I'm guessing Ambrose was probably hanging out doing normal day-to-day stuff until shortly after you discovered the first site of debris and whatnot.
Right. Wouldn't we also be
Well, they
at least at
explicitly
yellow
said
alert?
They did. Possibly, yeah.
Yeah,
That
makes
that's
sense.
up to
I
the
would-
captain.
We would definitely be a yellow
Yeah.
alert. I'm sorry, I thought that was implied.
Right. Okay.
So-
Ambrose would notice yellow alert.
Yes. So there's been some yellow alert going on for a little while, but we'll assume that Ambrose has been trying to ignore it. Like, no, I'm on fucking vacation. But at some point, it's going to wear on his nerves, because no one turns the alarm off in Ambrose's room.
Right. Right.
So
If Ambrose had to go to somebody to find out what was going on, who would he go to?
Mar.
right, Mar,
We do
Okay.
that.
that'd be a good one to do.
I like it.
In fact, I was going to have Ambrose visit Mar anyway.
Cool.
Where are you going to visit Mar at?
Where's Mar at?
It's a big
If we're
ship.
if we're at yellow alert and expecting and of the possibility of boarding action, Mars going to be in sick bay.
Yeah. See, Dasavi's probably keeping the med staff close and running on like short sleep shifts so that we can be at the ready in a moment.
But her over here just kind of sneaking in a little bit, like I can see.
Peering out of her office.
Just doing a little Kilroy right there. So, yes, you are in sick bay. Things are neat and tidy in sick bay. Things are being run quickly. There's the occasional focus drill that are being done, like in this situation, this is going to happen. In this situation, this is going to happen. That kind of stuff, like typical things that you'd see in an ER preparing for a mass casualty situation. But yeah, Mara is in there doing his thing, and Ambrose, you can enter when you see fit and do what you want.
Okay. Yeah, I'll head in. Kind of not super on high alert, but definitely concerned about extended yellow alert. Because yellow alert, I imagine, happens all the time, really, because it's your basic readiness. Like if you see an asteroid coming your way, yellow alert until we get past it.
Right.
The sort of situation.
Right.
But
But this one's been going on for a little while.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So Ambrose is going to walk in, seeing Mar there. Mar, I was going to look for you anyway, but do you know what's going on around here?
Some we have been briefing has come down through channels. Um, would you prefer to have this discussion elsewhere, sir? Perhaps walk through the decks? Or is this adequate for your needs?
I mean, you're the one delivering the information.
You know, we have been told very little other than that wreckage was found of one of the Klingon ships, which apparently was engaged in a battle with the general's vessel. Apparently, we are 2 days behind them, and we have been told to prepare for the possibility of an encounter and potential boarding actions, but nothing has been that I have heard of has been found so far.
Okay. Yeah, I passed a few security teams, so they're looking good.
You have built an excellent team, Commander. You can have full confidence of them to face anything that is likely to come along.
And I'm sure Mara can tell that Ambrose is very conflicted right now about whether or not he wants to ask more, whether or not he wants to go back on duty.
Commander, perhaps more information or a reliable flow of information would help you manage your situation best, so that you know when you might choose to intervene or when things are being handled quite well by your subordinates, which I may point out is a sign of a successful command.
Right. I can speak with Mills. I can see if the captain wants to talk. I'm sure everything's well in hand. We knew this was coming.
You will be needed, sir. Perhaps not at this moment, and perhaps until then. I know that I have tried with little success to encourage you to follow some of the forms that I have practiced, but something along those lines might be of benefit to prepare you for an emergency should one come. Prepare your mind. Your team is prepared.
That's actually why I was coming to see you. You were trying to teach me some sort of focusing situation. It's a little distracting in my room with the yellow lights.
Perhaps my quarters. They are less distracting. And you are welcome to make use of them. And as always, I am willing and able to teach what has been of such benefit to me.
I don't want to take you from your station if you're needed here.
I will check with the doctor, but at the moment, I am standing ready, which can be done just as well somewhere else and attending to greater needs.
He just nods.
Mara will go over and
Around.
tell Dasavi. And then, lead you to their quarters.
Okay.
All right, we'll come back to that as you guys walk to the quarters. In the meantime, Shinjin and Silva.
Shajin.
What did I say? Shijin? I don't know.
Shinjin, which I think is an anime character.
Yeah.
It's a British name.
Yeah.
Blue Lady and not Blue Lady You are currently in the Arrowwing,
Is it
traveling at warp with everybody else, along with the Europa and whatnot is going. You know what all that is going on. You're out there doing your scans. So yeah.
Silva is backseat piloting. You fly like you fly like if you fly with such precision. It's annoying.
Fly by regulation until we need more creative maneuvers. This is a precise grid that we're trying to keep in contact. If I start zipping all over the place,
There's
the
always
other two can't keep up.
piloting requires finesse. You know, a little creativity, a little.
Wait until the Klingon starts shooting us. You'll be flat against the bulkhead.
We'll see. Okay, go ahead. I just wanted to get a little bit of a truth there.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's what I wanted. Give me a let's see. Give me an insight and science roll. Or well, doesn't have to be insight. No, control and science is the right way to go.
In the shuttle or Cass?
The shuttle. Whoever is doing it, or the Arrowwing.
I think I can do it. Neither of us is great at it, but I can do it.
I feel like that second seat job.
Yeah. Do you want to assist though?
I will assist. What is the assist? You said insight,
Control and
science?
science. It would control and science, or
Can she assist with cons? So
Yeah, what are we doing? Can you tell us?
you're just conducting
rolling.
regular. You're conducting your general scans. You're doing your lookout stuff. I'm just going to see if you're going to find something. It's basically a perception check.
Okay, so 1 dice.
I'm going to say you
Control.
could do control and con is fine.
Control and con. Okay, 15.
Staying in that precise formation is helping us.
That's a success.
Okay.
Okay.
Difficulty was 3. What did you guys get? So
I got 1. The ship got 1, and Jissa got
Yeah.
1. So 3. And then we have any advantages that are applicable.
right.
Does-
I'm
does
counting. I'm counting the advantages. So which
Would,
would
would
have been
a
2. So.
would a focus in electronic warfare or fighter craft help at all? Probably not. Electronic
yes.
warfare, maybe.
Yes.
Okay, so then that's actually 2 for me then, because that's under my con.
Okay. As you're flying, you detect something relatively small off of the starboard wing. Can't tell what it is because it's cloaked, but there's definitely something there, and it's not very big. Like maybe maybe like 3 meters,
And it's cloaked.
and it's
Just-
cloaked.
Fly steady. We don't want to alert them that we know they're there yet. We should.
We should send a message, narrow band back to the ship. They have better sensors than us.
And it is fairly close to your wing, probably not more than 50 meters from your wing.
Just what I was thinking. And so Malini will lean over the console. She'll whisper. It's not necessary at all because there's no sound in space, but she does it anyway, just out of habit. This is the Minos to Europa. We've found something. It's just off our bow and it's cloaked.
Jesus is like got like one hand on warp field control, just seeing if this thing gets even just a little bit closer because she thinks it's a mine.
So that comes through to the Europa. What are you guys gonna do there? Whoever is on, I'll assume Kaz is on command right now.
Minos, what did you detect?
We're not sure. It's small, but it's cloaked.
Is it fixed location or is it keeping pace with you?
Keeping pace with us.
Oh. We'll do sensor scan from here, see if we can pick up any details you can. Stand by and get ready to bug out of there. And she'll call down to whoever's on transporters and get them to keep a transporter lock on the shuttle crew.
Could be Tong.
Tong,
That'd be
yeah.
Tong. All right, so go ahead and give me a sensor roll on that one.
Okay, I would like to spend a die.
I'm going to say your difficulty, by the way, is base difficulty is going to be 5. They detected 1, so it goes down by 1, and you have the grid, so it goes down by another 1. And then you have the grid wouldn't apply here, but you have the captain's roll from earlier, so your difficulty is 3.
Okay. Anybody mind if I spend 2 more for a second die?
No,
Do it.
absolutely cool.
And then I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 of these threat
It
to
actually
increase
costs-
your. I'm increasing your threat range.
It actually costs 3 momentum for second die.
Should
I thought we
cost.
went
I dropped 1
2.
already, so
Yeah.
you should have all 3 counted.
Yeah.
now.
Oh,
1, then 2. So
yeah.
3 for 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do this.
yes.
Nice.
Nice.
4 successes.
You don't
So
have any
that gives you-
focuses that apply here?
Not a thing.
Oh.
Cass
So you
is
have one-
AI and diplomacy. She's not the sensor monkey.
Ah,
Right.
Plus the ship, maybe?
Well, that'll give the ship a threat.
Not now.
that rolling for the ship gave me a threat, so I will give you a complication, which I'm going to use right now anyway. And now I just don't have to spend the threat to do it. You do detect whatever that is there sensing, and you detect several more moving into that location at high speed. You're getting probably 8 or 9 total objects moving in towards that one object
Okay.
at a high rate of speed, like not warp, but like
High impulse.
Yeah.
very high, like
Yeah.
0.85 impulse.
Gotcha.
Kaz, if they're coming in fast and they're homing in on that shuttle.
They appear to be homing in at least on the original object that was detected.
Oh, okay. So there's one cloaked object, and there are other cloaked objects coming in towards the first cloaked object.
Right. at a
of
high rate
about the
speed.
same size.
About the same size. Yep.
Okay. Then she will tell Shajin to pick a random vector and get the hell out of there. And we're maintaining transporter lock. If they follow you, we're beaming you out and taking a loss on the shuttle.
Okay.
That's going to negate this grid, sir.
Yeah, but getting blown up is going to negate the grid too.
All right. Well, you wanted to
Alright.
see some flying? Hold on to your ass, Silva. And I throw it into just some crazy maneuver.
All right. Give me a daring and con, or I would also take control and con. And I am going to spend 1, 2, 3 of these to increase the difficulty by. No, increase the difficulty. Difficulty is already going to be 3, and I'm going to increase your threat range.
Okay. We'll go control con. I assume fighter crafts will apply.
It's technically not a fighter craft, but
I'm maneuvering like a fighter craft.
right.
It's a fighter craft
Right.
now.
But
Fighter
it's-
craft now.
It's a yacht being flown like a fighter craft.
I mean, I have small craft piloting, so that might be more applicable. Is it
Um,
okay? Is it
Well, I
okay?
took fighter craft because I wanted to be a fighter craft pilot, but you guys
Right.
negated my fighter crafts that I wanted on this ship.
Um,
I don't think fighter craft piloting is an actual focus. Now I know focuses don't have to be what's in the book, but
right.
small craft I think is just a more general term for things including fighter craft.
Yeah.
So I mean, can he
I-
change it to
I'll allow it for this run. This ship is clearly not a fighter craft.
And
but
I was going for like combat piloting precisely.
Right.
Yeah, I
It
got what
doesn't
you're going
matter
for.
if you're using combat maneuvers in a fighter pilot and in a fighter craft or whether you're using it in a garbage scow. It's still fighter piloting maneuvers.
Sure, but an F-16 pilot's a whole lot better than a 777 when you're trying to do certain maneuvers.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
Sure.
or even like a Cessna. So, but yeah, I'll go ahead and allow it because I know what you're going for with it. So,
But if it's not going to be useful, I'll change that focus. We can
Yeah.
talk about that later.
We can discuss it later. But yeah, for now, it's fine. I get what you're going for with that focus.
Mhm.
So
Buy a third dice. Not getting blown up sounds nice.
Sure, go ahead.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. and
Wise life choice.
That's 15. I need to roll under.
Silva would like to assist.
Okay.
Co-pilot. She assists.
So 18, 19, 20 would be my threat range, right? Or 17, 18, 19, 20? 18, 19, 20.
You
You
put
said
it
you-
up that high. Wow.
Yeah, I spent 3 on the threat
Yeah,
range. So
yeah.
We also roll for the ship.
Yeah, roll for the ship.
Does the cost on that work like the cost on buying dice? So 1 for
It does
1,
not.
2.
no,
Okay,
only for difficulty.
gotcha.
So
If it's engines plus con.
it's a success. 7 is a success for almost anything on that ship. So
Yeah, fair enough.
I would certainly hope so.
pretty much everything on that ship is a 7 or better.
So we
Or-
hit the 3, but we got 2 complications.
You hit the 3, but you've also got 2 complications.
All right, sure, perfect.
So you begin your maneuver, and you begin these things decloak, and they look like caltrops almost.
Hmm.
As they're coming flying towards you, the first one, the one you had originally detected, decloaks. The other one's decloak, and they're coming towards that one. And the first one actually activates a tractor beam
Ooh.
towards you. However, you did manage to dodge the first tractor beam, which is really good because that's your 3 difficulty. However, the rest of the targets impact on the first one, and they all begin exploding. So you are going to take some damage. That's going to be one of your complications. And I don't know if I'm going to use the other complication or take the threat. I'll find that out in a second. So the damage that the ship takes is going to be, it is 6 and an area effect. Wow, that's a shite roll.
It's pretty good actually.
It's 4 successes. Is all. Oh no, I guess it's 5, right? It's 5 plus an effect. And the effect is vicious. So
Oh yeah,
vicious.
that's a good roll.
Yeah, so it's vicious 2. So that's actually a pretty good roll. So you're looking at
Yeah.
6. I think 6 damage.
That gets through our shields, so we take and does. Well, we've got scale. Hold on, it's got scale, so it's 6 damage. So we take 4. So we've got 1 shield left. We don't take any breaches.
Right. And I'm going to spend my other. Where's my sheet here? Adobe. I did not open my cheat sheet. I have one more complication I can add. I'm going to go ahead and say that the second complication is going to be disrupting. It's going to cause a plasma leak, which is going to prevent transport. Until corrected. So, the ship has been damaged. It is not out of control or anything. Like you still have control of the ship, but the ship has taken some damage. Shields are still up. And it comes back to my turn when this decloaks not too far away.
Is
What do
it
you guys-
also in front of something tremendously larger?
It is not. No,
Okay.
that's
Oh,
just
good.
an image. Yeah, no.
That's a little terrifying.
Yeah, no. That is roughly, what is that, a scale? That's the same scale as, it's 1 scale smaller than the Europa. So,
Mm.
Scale 4.
scale 4. Yes, that sounds right.
I think the background must be massive.
It's a space station.
Oh, okay.
So, it's a Klingon docking station of some sort.
Gotcha.
But that's not there. That's just an image.
Right.
So, it begins moving in. Europa is close by, but I get to act first. So, It will lock on disruptors on the arrow wing and fire.
Okay.
I only get 2 dice because it's not that fancy, and I miss. So it decloaks and opens fire, and the first blast, the first disruptor blasts go past the arrow wing as Jisa manages to pull off a slight maneuver to the left, ever so slightly on camera, because it's old school graphics. And you miss. So that brings us back around to the players. The arrow wing has gone once. The Europa can go now, or you guys can go on an individual basis. Doesn't matter. Basically, the Jisa has already gone, so she can't fly the ship again this turn. Everyone else can still go.
As a free action, I would like to tell Fawkes to bring us in to back up that shuttle.
Okay. And Kaz would say, Captain, if I might suggest getting between them. That shuttle got hit pretty bad.
Make it happen. Fawkes.
Fox. And Fox will do that thing.
All right, give me a piloting roll. Control and con.
Okay, let's see. 10 and 4. Focus in combat maneuvers. So target is 14. Focus used, yes.
Nice.
So yeah, no successes and a complication.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and keep those.
Would he get advantage because this was part of the plan for the Europa to come in swinging if something happened?
Yeah. You still are going to succeed. I'm taking the complication. I'm taking the threat. So
Gotcha.
yeah, you managed to bring the Europa in. It's clumsy and awkward, but you managed to bring the Europa in. Plus, the Europa gets to roll anyway, so you'd be able to pilot with the Europa too. Europa assists.
He has
And
pushed
that's
the limits
There you
now,
go.
and I don't have handy what that does, but I think it's some kind of combat piloting thing.
Yeah, I think it would probably. I don't know if it works on the advantage side as far as being attacked. But you do manage to get between the arrow wing and the ship, so it would have to maneuver to open fire on the arrow wing again, which is fine because it's going to fire at you this time, and this time it is going to use its other action, which costs more, and it's firing torpedoes this time. So you guys are going to gain a momentum for me, or no, I have to use threat. So I'm going to use a threat to up the ante by using torpedoes. I don't get 3 of them. I only get 2 dice. Give me 2 dice, not 3. 2 dice. And it misses again. So if these torpedoes fire past you, you get an energy reading on them, and they are definitely a type of quantum torpedo that's been dangerously overcharged, for lack of a better term.
We'll need to avoid those.
What's that?
I said, well, we'll need to avoid those.
Yes. So that brings us back to you guys on the Europa, or it brings us back to the players. Whoever wants to go next.
Would there be a way? This question will kind of inform what Mills does next year. With them being overcharged like that, would there be a way to optimize the shields against that, or it's just the shields are going to do what the shields are going to do?
You would be able to. I'd say you could get an advantage. You could make a roll now to get an advantage on repairing the shields later, if that makes sense to you.
If I may, it sounds like it might be a modulate shields action, which is a tactical action.
Yeah, try that too.
Control plus security, difficulty 2.
Yeah.
And it increases
I mean,
the
that's-
ship's distance.
Yeah, that's basically what I was going for. So my control and security is a 14. Need this. Rolled it. Would tactical systems apply here?
Yes.
Balls.
Oof.
That's 1. Oh wait, that's not a complication yet, right?
Not currently, no.
Oh, good. All right.
I rolled for the ship.
Okay.
And that's not within its focus range. That's okay. So it's just one success from the ship.
So that's 2.
Okay, that's all you needed, right, to be able to succeed in that.
Yeah,
Then
we would have
we
gotten more. We would have gotten more if he'd gotten over, but that does give us a resistance of 1, or it's increased by 1.
I thought I had a token for the Europa. Apparently, I do not.
I've got a top-down view of the Luna class. Hold on.
I wouldn't have a good way to put it in here right now, but in the meantime, I will use this ambassador real quick. I'm not using the stats the way they're supposed to anyways. I just wanted to show generally what's going on.
No worries.
A rough what's going on.
I appreciate it.
So there's your general layout of what's going on, more or less. So you have modulated the shields. The Klingon ship is going to maneuver this way and cloak. So that is your last known location.
Well, I think we should. You can counter cloaking devices, so I think we should do that. Let's see. Actually, it's not an opposed roll or anything, so we really don't have a way of. We really did not have a way in without. I mean, what can we roll? Just sensors to try to detect it?
You could roll. Yes, the difficulty is going to be obviously whatever the difficulty is higher because of the shield, the cloak. But yes, I'll say the difficulty is with all your advantages and everything else. I'll say the difficulty is going to be 3.
Okay.
Okay. Mind if I spend 1?
No, go ahead. In fact, I would direct you to do it, which
Okay.
will let me assist with the command roll.
Okay. No focus again.
Fuck.
Oof. Okay.
Not bad.
Well, you got 3, and I get a complication. So, you do detect it's as it's cloaking. You get a lock on its energy signature as it's cloaking. So before the energy signature dissipates fully, so you can take an action. The complication, however,
Actually, I have advisor, which when I assist with command, I can reroll. So can I reroll that 20?
sure, roll 20. Take a
Well,
19.
Better.
Better than 20.
Yeah.
So yeah, still better. So I will not reveal what I was going to reveal from the complication, but that's okay. So you do have an opportunity to take an action because nothing happens in their next turn. They're still maneuvering.
we should get it in tractor beams. That'll keep it from escaping.
Okay.
Well, Mills already went, so
I'm not sure how many more stations you guys have aboard ship. It's hard to do the per station combats when you've got 10
Well,
so
yeah.
many players.
Yeah.
we're still
Right.
at 5, so we get 5 turns,
Right.
which is 1 more than we have players. So
Right.
theoretically, 1 player would get to go twice with 2 different characters.
Right.
Well, there is Silva on the arrow wing.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't even count the arrow wing. So, so yeah, you guys have. You can either Silva can take an action or the Europa can take another action.
I like the tractor idea, or just opening fire.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Let me do this. I think Jorad is going to jump on the tactical console as a minor action. So, or like change his console to that, and he's going to use his join ability, because he's a join trill. He's going to reach back to his memories of when he was a general, and he is going to use his previous host's knowledge to gain a single relevant skill, which in this case would be security. Single focus. Okay, so I'll get a focus in tractor beams. I'm still rolling my security and control, which is not great, but it's better than nothing. Come on. There we go. 6, which is a success. Or wait, hold on. I should be rolling 2 dice. Okay, great.
Nice.
Cool.
3 successes plus the ship. Assist with 2. So that's 5 total on the tractor beam.
Dang, nice.
And you said the ship was scale 4, so the tractor beam can get it because the tractor beam is strength 4. So.
Yep. So you snatch the ship up with the tractor beam, and I believe you're out of turns now, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Think so.
The scale 4 ship has gone 3 times. I get 1 more go. It can't move out, so I will use my maneuver. I use my next action as a communications action. Where's my die? Oh man, what a terrible roll. Okay, so that didn't. All right. Back to the beginning of the top of the order. I am going to. I don't want to use that. I will let you guys go.
I would like to calm the Klingon ship.
Okay.
If nobody objects for me doing that first.
Go for it.
Bring up open channel. Klingon ship. This is the USS. This is Captain Jorad Hage of the USS Europa. You fired upon our vessel, and you will surrender now, or you will be destroyed.
About that time, and let's go ahead and that should be about that size. These are clearly not to scale.
Mm-hmm.
This ship decloaks
I don't have that. Did you share that with us or just on your screen?
just on my screen, but I think I can
Okay.
share it with you guys. Hang on.
I don't have this thing. I suppose I could make this big enough that I can actually see it.
I don't know if you guys can see the tokens that are on it, but there you go.
Yeah, we can.
So a Vorcha class has appeared. And again, these are not at all to scale, but I will make them slightly more scaled. There you go. And that Vorcha is actually bigger than the Luna, so yeah, Vorcha class. A Vorcha class ship decloaks in front of you and returns your hail. I assume you're going to put that on screen.
Yeah, definitely. What's it?
Hang on 1 second. Yep, hang on 1 second. I got to find
Okay.
the character.
No worries.
So while you do that, the top right is what we have in Tractor. Top left is what just decloaked. And then bottom
no.
left is the arrow wing.
Other way around. So the
Other
one
way.
that is at your top right is the Vorcha that just decloaked.
Okay. So the
And
bigger one. Okay.
the smaller one is the one that you have in Tractor. In fact, I'll just move the one that's in
Gotcha.
Tractor closer because it's in Tractor.
Okay. Oh,
Coming up on the
That is
screen is this right
nice.
here.
Yep.
that guy.
All right.
Captain Hage. I am glad you were finally able to join us out here. I owe you a bottle. I certainly will owe you a barrel of blood wine.
What can I say? I couldn't leave all the glory to you.
Perhaps. Unfortunately, it is not a good time for you to have come.
What's the situation?
The situation is that there has been a change of leadership in the Klingon government.
So we've heard. Where does that put you?
My loyalties are to the Empire.
I'm sure I never had any doubt of that, but my curiosity does stem on who represents the Empire in your eyes.
The throne is the Empire. I serve whomever the throne is. Right now, it appears to be Tural.
I see. Well, you know he is a wanted fugitive after destroying a Federation starship and killing one of its ambassadors, the venerated Worf, son of Moog.
He is wanted by the Federation, I suspect.
That is true. Will you help me apprehend him?
That would be a direct violation of my oath to the Empire. I respect you, Captain, and I respect my alliance, the alliance that has been forged with the Federation for all these years, which is why I have not destroyed your ship outright. Let the other vessel go. He gives it a name, but I forgot to name it, so.
Words.
And then leave this system. I will only give you this opportunity one time.
Jorad is going to stare him down. Can I do an empathy roll or something to get an idea of how far he's willing to take this?
Yeah, sure. Insight would be.
Okay. Insight plus
Can
command.
Kaz assist with either cross-cultural collaboration or negotiation?
I don't know.
Or diffuse the tension?
I would say diffuse attention might be the best bet.
Okay.
That's clearly what you're trying to get a chance to do here.
Yeah. Okay, so
I
let's
used the
see.
momentum, by the way.
I see that.
That is 3 successes.
Okay, Kaz is assisting with 1. Insight command?
Yep, that's
Okay.
what Hage rolled too. So the basic, what you're trying to do here is
Ugh.
you're trying to figure out. Oh yeah, no good.
You can
You're-
roll that because I've
Right,
taught-
because, yeah.
Essentially, though, what you're trying to do is get a gauge. Nice. 1919. So you're basically trying to get a gauge of how far he's willing to take the
Yeah.
combat. Is what
Right.
you're asking.
Yeah, if he's bluffing or if
Right. Kaz is of absolutely no help as far as Kaz is concerned.
Yeah.
The guy is, totally legit. With 3 successes, I will say that you definitely get a sense that he may be reluctant, but he is still a Klingon warrior. He will probably keep to his word. Also, he is the voice of Starscream, so it's hard to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chris Latta, the actor. Anyway, sorry.
Can we pause for a second and just go out of character? Because as much as I love being the captain, making all the decisions, out of character, what do you guys think we should do?
Kaz was thinking to even while you two are talking, to get that shuttle back on board, no matter what.
We also have 2 runabouts out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And even just keep him talking long enough to bring those in no matter what comes.
no, so what I'm hearing from you guys is that we should stop tractoring the ship, quit the field of battle for now.
Kaz would say yes, because these are not, we have no reason to think that these are the Klingons who are involved in an attack on a Federation ship halfway across the quadrant.
Well, we know that he's working for
Oh.
the guy.
Yeah, but at this point, he's not wrong that Duras has claimed to be the legitimate Klingon government. That's not our call to make. And
Okay,
there's nobody else making a claim. I mean, it's not like there's rival claimants and we've decided to back one. So
sure. And his ship is bigger than us, and we're outnumbered. And you're right, our shuttles are vulnerable.
Yeah.
So, all right, he will say, all right, Kargan, out of respect for our shared positions as the heads of our government, I will surrender your ship and forgive the it firing upon our own ship. We'll have to settle this matter at some other time.
I agree. With any with any fortune, it will not be here, and not like this.
I do not look forward to facing you on the field of battle, and I hope we can do battle at each other's sides rather than against each other.
Agreed. I would long lament the loss of friendship that I have gained from years of working with the Federation. But the Empire will do what the Empire will do. We will see.
Disengage the tractor beam. And
I will allow you time to retrieve your shuttles. You have 3 minutes. Kargan out.
Okay.
Some fast docking maneuvers we got to perform.
And I'm gonna say to Cass, meanwhile, I want you to get as many readings off both those ships as we can. Let's see if we can find out where they may have gone or where they're going.
is that a roll that I should be making?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
The other ship decloaks and somehow or another I turn it to face you, but I can't remember how to do that right now.
Okay, we are out of momentum. Kaz has no focus because she's not the sensor monkey. And let's roll some 19s again. Ah!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Oh.
I like it.
Can Yasbeth assist?
Yeah.
That hits her dedicated focus, so she assists for 2, and we also get bonus momentum.
You succeed in getting some information. I think I'll just take the threat because I need them. So yes, you get some basic information on them. The one is clearly just a regular Vorcha class. You've got all the specs and everything on that. It's a pretty well-known ship, and that is Kargan's ship, which I do have the name for somewhere, but I can't find it quickly. The other ship is, as I said, that other design. It is a very new design, much like the other ship you were looking at. Probably about it's probably pretty close to on par power-wise with I don't know, it's hard to say. I would put it close to the Europa, a little less than the Europa.
Are we able to get anything that would help us track the ship, either where it's been or where it's going, like warp signatures or that kind of thing? Maybe not.
The frequency for their overloaded quantum torpedoes.
I would say yes. You can probably get some trace elements off of it that you could in the future identify as where, like radiation signature of where it might be. Which I'll say you get the information now, and then we'll do an extended task to actually determine where it's like for you to find where it actually is located.
I love that. Thanks.
So in the meantime, Ambrose and Mar were headed to Mar's quarters when there was, I'm guessing, a red alert.
Yep, a red alert.
Yeah, Ambrose turns on his heel and makes his way to
the bridge.
To the bridge.
Okay, which is
This
about
will
the
not
time.
be forgotten, Commander. I expect you later.
Your ignoring me will not be forgotten.
I mean, I would
Um,
hope that Mara would return to the med bay when
Oh,
Red
yeah.
Alert hits anyway.
yeah,
Otherwise,
I would assume.
Yeah.
Mara and Dasabi are going to have a conversation.
Right. So Ambrose, you get on the bridge about the time, about this moment, and Jisa, before Ambrose gets to speak, can go ahead and make a roll to pilot the ship back in to position without crashing it. Due to the speeds that you're trying to get things back in, I'm going to say your difficulty is going to be 2, and your threat range is going to be +1, so 19, 20.
Okay, great. Because all of my characters are so good at the things that they're supposed to be good at. My security officer can't fight unless I'm breaking a bullion. My
Hey, you
fighter
did.
pilot can't
You did
pilot.
a good. Your fire pilot did a
Right.
good job fire piloting earlier. You just got
Eh.
complications.
Hey, Can
It's a good
Falks-
roll.
Can Falks actually assist with the Europa maneuvering it closer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Getting the ship in the right position to kind
Yeah.
of do one of those turns. You're both turning and docking. See, look at that. Complaining all the time. That's 2 good rolls.
Target is 14 with a focus.
Nice.
Nice.
2 successes.
So you definitely
That's-
succeed,
that's
and
4.
you're gaining momentum. What did I say difficulty was? 2.
Mm-hmm.
So you get 2 momentum. And nobody got a complication. So the as you're beginning to rotate, Ambrose, you're coming on the bridge right as you see the arrow wing, the Minos docking underneath the saucer section.
I step out just outside of the turbo lift so it can close and go about its procedures so Kostra doesn't have a fit again.
Right.
But I don't actually step to a post. I don't step within sight of the view screen. I'm off to the side.
After a few seconds, after about a minute and a half to 2 minutes, you get a report back that all shuttlecraft have docked. Not necessarily in the shuttle bays they left originally, but they're all in now.
Yeah.
Emergency docking procedures. So what you gonna do?
Well, I think we should leave and not lick our wounds necessarily, but plan our next move. So,
Right. Gonna tell Fox to engage somewhere.
yeah, go ahead and move us to the edge of the sector. Not too far, but not too close either.
Understood, sir. Horse plotted and laid in.
You engage warp, and as you turn, you can see that Ambrose is standing in the corner of the bridge.
Mr. Ambrose,
Hope I'm not interrupting.
not at all. I could really use your expertise if you're feeling up for it.
Well, it seems the problem has been resolved, at least the immediate problem.
There's always another problem. But
That sounds familiar.
if
I apologize.
if you feel up for it, we could use you in the briefing room. If you're not quite ready, that's fine too.
Aye, sir. I'll head to the briefing room.
All right. So we got who all's going to be in the briefing room?
Falks takes command again.
Fox is in command.
I do wave to bring, if we're out of combat, I would wave
Yes.
to bring Mills with me and direct some random yellow shirt onto the tactical position, which I'm not technically allowed to do because I'm on leave. But unless the captain stops me, that's my current recommendation.
Mills will almost begrudgingly. She remains that professional demeanor, but you kind of feel I don't want to ask, but looks to the captain for approval.
By all means. Since you're currently the acting tactical officer, he would expect you. He would say, "Well, we can't do this without our tactical officer. Come on, senior officers."
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'd pull the chair out for Mills wherever I normally sit, and I'll just lean against the glass behind her.
So
So who does have the
Thank you,
bridge?
sir.
Is
And
Kaz,
since-
is Kaz still out there, or is she in the meeting?
no, Cass would definitely come. I don't. I mean, we're literally just off the bridge.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I imagine it probably would fall to
Right.
Vega or some other middling officer that we don't talk about much.
But the captain will say, "This is not the development I was hoping for. Apparently, our good general has been cowed into submission."
He chose the side a long time ago. He's going to stick to that side.
I
And
don't
if the
think
choice is
cowed is
inside-
necessarily the right word.
No. No one has stepped forward to compete against Duros's claim, and it's not generally how business is done in the Empire, but it's not completely beyond the realm of possibility. And for a captain to choose otherwise would be starting a civil war.
The Civil War was already started.
Only if somebody fights back, sir.
If
Klingons have a
Duras-
civil war every couple decades. We've been through this dance I've been through this dance 2-3 times already.
If Duras had any honor, he would go back to Kronos and deal with the Klingon High Council. But instead, he's hiding out here, relying on a confused Klingon, a confused empire to hold on to his power. That's the markings of a weak leader, and I think maybe our task is going to be to convince the general of that.
I think we might want orders on that one, sir.
Agreed. We don't want to risk the prime directive and get involved in a civil war we aren't involved in.
Are you certain he's hiding? Perhaps these Klingon rebels that he was supposed to be corralling were loyal to Duras, and now he's bringing them home.
Possibly. I don't know why he himself would feel the need to come out here to do that, though.
Now, if he was
Well-
here already before Duras took the Empire.
We're talking about two different people now, OOC.
Are we?
We're talking about Kurgan and Duras, yeah.
Right. Kurgan was coming out here
Kargan's been
to
here all
search for the
along.
rebels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then switch
Right.
sides. We don't know
Right.
where Duras is.
But I thought
Right.
we
but-
got a message from him.
Everybody in the Empire, everybody got a message from him.
Yeah, that
Right.
was a broadcast message.
Okay, I thought that was coming from this sector.
Yeah,
Never.
no, we're not. You're not sure where that actually came from, but it was
Well, we-
definitely from Duras.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
But yeah,
my bad.
What we do suspect is that there's some sort of manufacturing facility or base out here where that ship got built.
Right.
Which might be worth finding regardless of what orders we might or might not have about declaring ourselves on one side or another of a Klingon civil war. That's something we could probably still do within our current orders.
If that Klingon ship fired on us, I would be willing to bet that that's a renegade ship and that the general has sided with them. It did seem to be of a special make.
Mhm.
Indeed.
So I think maybe our renegade problem just got worse.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no question. With advanced technology, advanced manufacturing, hints of Romulan design, overclocked torpedoes, there's something very, very big out here.
Well, the general warned us to stay away, but I don't think we're going to listen very much to him.
Again, I do think we need orders, but I would agree that finding out more would be a priority.
Agreed. Very well. That'll be our objective here in the sector, to find out where these ships are coming from and hopefully we can talk our general down off the cliff.
Out of character for a moment. Narendra is a joint Starfleet and Klingon station, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Correct.
So that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Though the commander of the Klingon side of that station is currently not there.
Correct.
But do we have more Starfleet presence here?
There are a number of ships. There's, I think,
Okay.
5 ships total.
Gotcha.
I have that information in one of the sheets, but I'd have to figure out where it's at.
I would suggest we contact the Admiral back at Narendra.
Agreed.
We may be needed back there because if there is something brewing in the Klingon Empire,
Seizing Narendra would be
Narendra
a
could
logical
become
first step.
you talk about a civil war.
Yeah.
That place could become a meat grinder.
Agreed. Let's
Yes.
stay here on point. If we can and look for any ships coming out of the sector. We'll calm Narendra, see what they want to see, what the situation is there, and then make our plans from there.
I see.
So I think that the conversation with the Admiral will probably be done just with the captain, although I don't know. Out of character, I definitely want everybody there, but in character, I think that's kind of the conversation that should be done with just the two of them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you want to?
Agreed.
Do you want to do it on the bridge, or do you want to do it in your ready room?
Yeah, let's do it in the ready room.
So the rest of the crew can be on bridge and set up new scenes for what they want to do, if they all have something they want to do. And there we go. Admiral, I am not your father. Or whatever. Not-
does,
that's not right.
Yeah, Admiral, you killed my father?
You killed my father. That's what I was going for.
Does Hage direct Ambrose at all?
No, I think he's going to leave it up to Ambrose's discretion.
I will say that we could also have the rest of the crew is dismissed, and maybe if Ambrose is going to stay behind at all or anything like that in the ready room, unless you want to just move on. It's your-
I think
your
if
call.
Ambrose stayed, he wouldn't direct him out. I think Jorad is partially trying to convey that he really does appreciate Ambrose's advice, and he definitely, I mean, he legitimately does want his help with everything. You know, he does rely on Ambrose, and he's also trying to convey that to Ambrose. So
Okay.
Might get some of that from your empathy.
For my
your
empathy, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also not in uniform right now.
Sure.
I will just stand like back by the door, like
okay.
just inside camera view, maybe.
Sure. Yeah, he won't object, and he'll Admiral, we've gotten a situation with the Klingons, and then he'll sum up what happened. How's the situation on Narendra?
We'll put him back here creeping just like he's like everybody else. Yeah, that's the
Nice.
creeping place.
The creeping place.
Captain, I'm glad to hear from you. Currently, the situation in Render Station is tense. There's a lot of things happening, and I can't entirely be certain what they are. There has been little contact from the Klingons since Toral made his statement. I was expecting to hear back from General Kargan, but I have not yet. In the meantime, the other Klingons aboard station have not taken any action. At least nothing aggressive.
Well, what is the directive from Starfleet Command? Are we to try and cooperate with the Klingons now under their new leader, or are they still?
I think Starfleet is still reeling from the loss of the ambassador who we sent there to talk to them. My thoughts is that this is going to turn ugly fast. And I don't want to give up Narendra Station in this sector. In this sector, so there's going to be likely some ugliness in our future.
We think the Klingon renegades may have some kind of shipbuilding facility here in this sector.
Hmm.
We've detected signs of homegrown ships.
All the more reason not to give up Narendra Station.
My inclination and my officer's inclination is to find where they might be being built in case any further action is needed against the Klingons.
I would tend to agree. In fact, any information we can gather while we're still at a relative peace would be essential. I don't think we're going to stay in this position long. But whilst there is no open hostilities between the Federation and the Klingons, we should do our best to gain as much information as we can.
I see. All right. Well, we'll maintain a picket here. We'll warn you if anything comes towards Narendra, at least not under cloak. But we'll also see if we can't piece together where their ships are based.
In the meantime, I will find a way to deal with my chief engineer and my chief medical officer, who are also both Klingon.
Captain, Admiral, if I may. It's a long way home through Klingon space from here to the Federation. We might want to set up some sort of rally point in case they do try to take Narendra, and we are not in a position to hold it.
Yes, Admiral Nechayev has already been in contact about that. The USS Dauntless and the Wilcox and the Calico are preparing to set up a station point between here and there, between here and Federation space, a corridor of escape.
Well, I trust you'll send us the coordinates and we can keep them on hand in case we need to meet up with you.
Agreed. I will. That's not the right map.
Well, then we have our orders.
Do your best, Captain. Be safe.
You too, Admiral. And then we'll cut the line.
Okay. So if you're looking at a map, this map is going to fill up all of your screen. Essentially, and this map is not completely accurate because it doesn't include. Oh, it does. So Narendra Station is, if you look, it's right here in the middle, right on the edge of Shackleton Expanse and the Klingon space.
Mm-hmm.
So there is Federation space below that and around the sides. So the rendezvousing point is Starbase 109, I think that is, or 105. Sorry.
5, yeah.
Yep. This one right here. So there you go. You guys are out here. I don't know if you guys can see my cursor or not. No. All right. Well, the area here we go, Shackleton vicinity. This is the Shackleton Expanse, as it were. The area that you are currently operating in is up in the upper western area by the by the Romulan Federation space. There's also some Klingon space up in that area, so which we can't see on this map, but that is there. So the convergence of the four spaces, I guess, if you count Shackleton Expanse.
Sure.
So yeah, that's what you get from the Admiral. And now it's the two of you.
Well, Ambrose, I know you're still technically on medical leave, but I'll say that the situation is growing tactically tricky, and I wouldn't mind having a steady hand on the tech officer position once more.
It's no secret that the Duras family is opposed to the Federation. I don't think it will take them long before they declare war.
Neither do I. I'm really hoping we can make the Emperor or the General see reason in this.
Do you think the Klingons would be able to turn me from Starfleet Command?
Would be able to turn what? I'm sorry. Could you say that again?
Do you think the Klingons would be able to turn me away from Starfleet Command?
No, but we are in a very different position of the Klingon Empire.
Kargan is Klingon. For the Empire, die by the Empire, through and through. He'll follow orders. We might be able to muddy those orders and provide him different ways of interpreting them. But Kargan will live and die by the Empire. Whoever sits on the throne.
He nods. You raise good points. We'll have to think of ways to help him creatively interpret his orders. Meanwhile, I think we're going to have to skulk around this space a bit, see if we can't find where it is. I know that our science team was able to get some actionable information. It's going to require some time to process, but at least we can get started on that.
It could be
If we
that
can-
Duras is waiting for any reason to declare war. And us poking around a secret facility could be all they need to turn Starfleet into the bad guys. That could be all the Romulans need to come to their support. There's more pieces on the board here than we see. And this is bigger than one ship at the ass end of the Federation space.
I agree that there's more here that we see, but I see that as more reason for us to get more information.
I agree. I thoroughly agree. I think we should prioritize discretion. But if things go wrong, they're going to go wrong fast.
Well, we'll have to make sure we're ready. All of us.
Is Dasavi still out on the bridge, or did you go all the way back down to medical? Actually, were you
Dasavi-
called up? I don't know if you
Yeah,
were
no,
called up.
actually, he didn't call her up this
Okay,
time.
never mind.
Well, he said senior staff, so I
Hmm,
put Dasavi in
gotcha.
there. So
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, she probably would have. Yeah, she wouldn't have seen a reason to stick around. She probably would have returned to the bridge or returned to the medical.
Well, this seems like a good place to wrap up the meeting if you want to go talk to her or technically communicate with her. Or...
Oh, no, I was going to give her some insight, but I'm assuming my empathic state doesn't reach her all the way down in mid-bed.
No.
probably not.
Fair enough. I do think this is the end of the meeting now. So
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So with that, unless someone has another scene they want to do, I will have Kaz start working on a.
May I also add that I did leave my comm badge with the captain, so I'm assuming
Mhm.
I'm not on duty
Okay.
until you throw it back at
he'll leave it on the table when he goes. Or
me. Okay.
Set it on the table and let him contemplate.
yeah, I'm asking him without asking him if he's ready.
Right. So the captain takes it out of his pocket.
Yeah.
Starfleet doesn't have. Sets it on
Desk
the
drawer. Filing cabinet.
right. It's nature's pocket. Anyway.
Oh,
Hmm.
oh no.
No. Set it on the briefing room table, and then walks past Ambrose and out the door, and the camera pans down to the thing before going to commercial. So we don't know if Ambrose takes it back or not. That's for Jack to decide. In the meantime, Kaz, go ahead and make start me on a extended science test to be able to determine where that ship's radiation signature came from. So
Okay.
difficulty is going to be 2.
No
The resistance is also going to be 2.
Okay.
The workload is only going to be 10 because it's not that hard.
Yezabeth would also like to assist, and I would assume that
And the magnitude will be 3. Yeah, it certainly can help. Elizabeth can certainly assist.
O'Connor. I would assume O'Connor.
And the ship will also assist.
Okay.
Sorry, I forgot the name. I assume O'Connor would also help. Correct me if I'm wrong, maybe. Everyone?
I think she stepped away for a second.
Yeah.
So currently O'Connor is busy doing something.
Sure.
So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4 successes? Is that what I'm seeing?
14 a success?
It's reason plus science.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yezabeth assists.
Okay. Difficulty is only 2, so you have 2 momentum.
Nice.
Go ahead
All
and make
right.
a work roll.
So that is going to be 7d6. And of course I know how to roll it. I don't. So I'm going to roll 5 and 2. That's 5. And where did you go? 2. All right. So that is
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 4 effects. Effects don't matter though.
3.
So you have 6 minus 2 is the resistance. So you have 2 momentum. So I don't know what you want to do with those 2. Spend them how you'd like.
re-roll the 3s and 4s.
We should probably use 1 to get rid of penetration. That's extremely useful.
Yeah, penetration. If you use penetration, it'll lower the resistance by 2, so that would give you a 0 resistance.
Okay.
And then you can use the other die to re-roll, right?
Yeah. So I'll be re-rolling 2.
The 3 and the 4.
Yeah. All right.
And a 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total.
Yep.
With 0 resistance. So you have reached 1 magnitude for reaching 5.
Mm-hmm.
And that is it, right? But you've reached your 9 out of the 10 work, so it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So you're definitely making progress on it. Some time is passing as you're doing that, and we'll go ahead and move to the next scene. Does anyone else have anything they want to do while we're doing this? While things are ongoing, the ship is, you guys are doing whatever you're doing with the ship, but does anyone else have any scenes they want to do?
If I can recommend, is there anything we absolutely want to get done with John here?
Good question.
Right.
I had a scene, but I think if the commander is coming back, that negates that scene. And it would not be appropriate where we are in story right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I think Jory would talk to Cass, knowing we didn't quite settle it. Is Ambrose coming back to duty?
I don't know. I kind of think it would be poetic for Ambrose to come back to duty when war was declared.
Right.
Right.
So we'll say for
Yeah.
right now that as
Because
far as anyone knows, Ambrose is not coming back to duty at the moment.
I like that we faded to commercial with the
Yeah.
Right.
Sure. I just wanted
It's
to
still
make
on
sure.
the table.
I think we're
Okay.
going to assume, story-wise, we can continue pressing forward with the assumption that he is not coming back.
Okay, so Jorad will talk to Cass anyway.
Yep.
And he'll come down and he'll check on the progress of the research, and he'll see it's still working. He'll say, pretend I'm not here. I'm just curious what you're working on.
Oh, we've got fantastic tools, sir, and we're close to getting some answers on this thing. It's coming along really quickly.
Excellent. Well,
Sure, you don't want to grab a tricorder and jump in?
oh, I'm sorely tempted, but I think I'd just get in your way. So, have you thought any more about what I said about possibly joining the command track? You'd still stay on as science officer, but at least we could begin, getting you some experience in leading teams and such.
I've thought about it a lot. I've surprised myself a little bit to discover that it's something that I always thought it was something that was down the line someday, maybe, but it might be time to start down that line, sir. If that's something that you think is appropriate and would support.
It is. You've proven capable as acting XO. It's not an easy job for anybody. In some ways, it's harder than an XO becoming. In some ways, it's harder than an XO becoming a captain, stepping in to become an XO. So I appreciate the effort you put in.
So much paperwork. Oh, so much paperwork.
This is valuable.
But it's we've got a small science department here, and I've been managing it, and that's been a fascinating experience. And it's just like running a bigger science department, except with people who shoot things as well, and engineers. I'd like to move forward with this, sir.
All right. Well, I will start the paperwork. You're doing good. I think you're on your way for a promotion.
I'm hearing that from you is all I need, sir. I have complete trust in your judgment, and if you think I'm doing good, I'll just keep doing that.
Quickly out of character, do we want him to assign her to a long-term project that keeps her away from the?
You won't need to. I've got this taken care of. I'm about to release the Kraken on you. So
Oh, lovely.
Okay.
Well then,
Yay, space krakens.
yes.
well then, keep up the good work. I'll let you get back. I'll stop distracting you. Let you get back to the progress. Keep me updated. Send me reports.
Won't be long, sir.
Excellent.
And thank you, sir.
As soon as he's out of the room, Yesbeth enters the room. Is he gone now?
It's all clear. Come on in, Yesbeth.
Join Trell make me nervous.
How come?
The idea of becoming like where do you start and where do you end? Like I don't understand how it works.
Well, join the Freaky Biology Club?
I'll pass, thanks.
I wish I could too, so I'd know how you feel. Well,
you're not freaky. At least you only have one brain.
well, yeah, but the whole reproductive thing, and that being like our culture's priority above everything else these days. And I want our species to survive too. I mean, who doesn't? But I mean, to become just have everything reduced to just being a breeder, it probably isn't that different from being a host. Except
No. that seems like such a waste. I couldn't imagine the ship running without you.
Oh, thanks. I mean, I'd rather be here than being back on Andoria and pregnant. So here's to overcoming our biology.
Right. And here's to the results of that microbial scan. And she put out the data pad.
Whoa! Already fantastic work.
That seems like a good place to wrap up that.
Yep, we'll
Yep.
go cut from there. Back on the bridge. We'll assume that Hage is on the bridge.
Sure.
You get a distress signal from a Narendra station. Coming over the comms, just comms, communications, non-visual, so audio only. To all Starfleet vessels, Narendra station is under attack. Some static happens. Priority response, and then it cuts out.
Well, we knew that something was going to happen soon. I didn't think it'd be this soon.
You could probably make Narendra station at high warp for dramatic purposes.
All right. Well, Ensign Fox, maximum warp.
Yes, sir.
Fox, give me a roll.
Okay.
See what part of the, depending on how many successes you get, depends on what part of the fight you guys arrive in.
Okay. Control 10, Con 4, focus and helm operations. Spend a die, focus used, 3 dice. And nothing else useful, so let's make this happen.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
4 successes. That's pretty good. Oh, well, that's 4 successes for Kaz. I don't know what that would be. For...
No, that is.
Okay.
Well, what did I roll? No, it doesn't crit. So it's 2
Okay.
successes. Yeah.
2 successes is still enough. You are flying through space at a high rate of speed. You come out of warp. The battle's been going on for a pretty good amount of time. There are 4 Klingon warships. I actually have their images. Give me 1 second. You see one of this.
Love the Vor Gang.
Yeah.
And you see, whoops, not that. That's the wrong species. Nope, also the wrong species. Where'd it go? Okay, and you see 3 of that. So the big one and the 3 of the little ones. The fight is going not great for either side, really. Clearly the Klingons are trying to keep Narendra station intact, so there's likely to be a number of Klingons aboard station. There is one other Starfleet ship that is just coming out of warp at the same time as you. It is the Mackinac. Yes, the Mackinac. Nope, sorry, the Lionheart. Which is part of your expeditionary group from the station, the region. As it comes out of warp, it is beginning its attack. There are no communications going out from Narendra station at the moment. Not to be surprised, particularly. The fight. I will let you guys decide what you want to do. We're not going to do a lot of dice rolling for this. We're just going to kind of do it narrative. But you can decide certainly what you want to do.
I think we'll strafe the Klingons.
Okay.
Can we tell? I know we're not at sea. There's no flags, but like transmitter frequencies. Do we know if these are like pirates, rebels, or are they actual like KDF? Are they flying under the Empire?
These ships bear the markings of the House of Vorak or Vornak, whatever. What the Vorak?
That's the guy that was in the area.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So they are definitely flying under a house banner.
Yeah.
So Vorak are the renegades. Right?
Yeah. You guys didn't hear this, but the audience heard earlier that when when someone was talking to the Romulan spy aboard your ship that you didn't even know about, you had heard that the Varnak, sorry, House Varnak, and House Toral, are believed to be working together. So this is definitely House Varnak attacking. Like, it is clearly them.
But last we heard, House of Arnak was a rebellion pirate situation. This isn't
No.
necessarily an act of war.
No, Toral's group was clearly the
Okay.
Duras were clearly the renegades. So the Varnak are not necessarily renegades.
So
the
this
Varnak,
is definitively an act of war against the Empire.
this is definitively an act of war against the
Okay.
Empire. Yeah.
I mean,
Well, an act of war against
Wait.
the Federation.
Federation,
Right,
not the
Federation,
Empire.
yeah.
yeah, they're already firing on Federation, so I feel no compunction about
Yeah.
shooting at them.
Clearly an act of aggression in war, and you shouldn't feel compunctions to attack them because they're attacking a Federation starship, or well, a largely Federation space station. So
Yeah. So I'll order us to engage the Klingons. Get as much fire as we can on those.
Mills will engage the Klingons.
are you going after the Vorkang cruiser, or are you going after some of the smaller cruisers?
I think we should start with the Vorkang.
Okay. You begin attacking. You begin your attack run. And the battle goes fairly quickly. Aboard the station, you after a short little bit of conflict from the station, you get a communication saying that the Klingons have breached the bridge, or are about to breach the bridge, and the admiral and whatnot and company are trying to get an emergency beam off the station, but the shields in the station are still up, and if they lower them, obviously that's a huge problem.
Right.
Shortly thereafter, as you're bringing around another attack on the Vorkang, the Lionheart takes a big hit from one of these souped up torpedoes, and kind of begins drifting slowly. They're still intact, but they're slightly more out of the fight than they were. Their maneuvering is no longer functional.
I'll tell the communications officer to calm them, see if they need any help.
They
The repair teams.
right. They tell you they will need repair teams when this is over, but let's get that Vorkang.
No.
You begin opening fire a little bit more, and just as you're making a strafing run against the ship, your Kaz, you detect a couple more starships coming into the system. You're actually detecting 6 ships coming from 2 different directions total. 6 total ships coming in from 2 different directions. From the one direction, it is 2 more Vorkang large cruisers, and the other direction is a Vorcha class, or I'm sorry, a Negvar class, and some smaller ships with the Negvar. The Vorkangs come out of warp first and lock onto the Europa and open fire. A few seconds later, the Negvar class and other ships come out of warp and begin opening fire on the Klingons. A short pitched battle happens, and the Vorkangs and whatnot decide to disperse. They are leaving the system, and this ship is on your screen.
Excellent.
A few moments later, you are hailed by by Chancellor Martok.
Well, I thought we were truly outnumbered there for a second. Thanks for coming in for the save.
Well, I wish I could only have been here sooner. I don't have a good Martok voice, sorry. I thought I had one, I don't. I only wish I could have been here sooner, Captain. Narendra Station, lower your shields. My Klingons, my warriors will assist in clearing out the riffraff. A few seconds later, the shields beam lower, and lots of energy signals go both ways. But you guys do have an opportunity to beam out the Admiral if you want to. Or to beam yourselves over. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think we'll beam ourselves over. I think that makes the most sense.
The whole command staff again?
The whole everybody. No one's left aboard the ship.
Nobody left on the ship.
Ambrose
the
is left
SSH
there
can
because
fly
he's
the
off
ship.
duty.
Right.
There's 2 cats and a Vulcan.
Bartender.
I mean, if we're going hand to hand, Mills is going on the station.
Mills, lead a security team. Find
Yes, sir.
them and then sleep. Transport them back. Transport him. We can find if he wants transport. If he needs evacuation. If he does, we'll get him on the ship.
Mills beams over with the security team, and the conflict continues. Obviously, I'm going to wrap things up because we don't want to go too much longer.
That's fine.
Oh wow, it's getting late.
Yeah. So the battle happens in one of those slow-mo, someone singing "My Way."
Klingon opera.
Klingon opera. I was going to go with Frank Sinatra singing "My Way." Some time passes, the fight is over, and
It's another PTSD trigger.
yeah, there you go. As things wrap up, and we'll take a scene on the station with we'll do it on the station with Hage. Mills can be there. The Admiral and Martok, anyone else that wants to be there is welcome to be there too. Doesn't much matter. The Chancellor Martok and the Admiral are discussing as they're walking over some of the wreckage of the losses that they have suffered. And the Admiral, Martok looks to the Admiral. And, well, of course, those loyal to me, to the House Martok and the Empire, we are gladly still sided with the Federation. You have my support and whatever of my crew you can use, but this war is going to take some time. And the Admiral says, "Yes, unfortunately, I've lost a great number of my officers as well. I'm going to need some replacements, those from your warriors," and he looks at Hage. "I can take some from the ships in our region. Commander Hage, or Captain Hage. You don't get a promotion that fast. Captain Hage, I'm going to need you to sign a detail to Narendra Station to help us get things back in order."
Well, we're short-staffed, but then again, so are you. So I'll assign some of my best people here.
He looks around. "Where's your first officer?"
He's currently on medical leave, but my Lieutenant Sherbanawa has been proven a capable acting XO. And I think she's ready for more command. I would like to have her lead the detachment.
If you think that's best, absolutely.
I'll send them over right away.
The Admiral nods and starts giving orders somewhere else and walking towards that direction as Martok comes over. And "So you are Captain Hage. I have heard good things."
I assure you, the good things are all lies. But
He laughs.
I've been working with your I've been trying to work with your compatriot here, but he seems to have accepted the new status quo readily, and it unfortunately our relationship has become strained because of it.
Martok kind of looks down a little bit and then back at you. And Kargan is a loyal officer of the Klingon Defense Force. If he thought I was dead, he did his job, his duty. Unfortunately, with Duras having the sword of Kales, it gives him certain rights. If he is claiming to be the new emperor, I believe only Kales can truly denounce him. In the meantime, I think that there will be those loyal to the Chancellor, myself, and there are those who will follow the new emperor. And I do not know how this will play out. I do not know how many are loyal to whom.
Well,
The Duras are traitors, though. They have a long history of it.
it's amazing how one house can breed so many traitors.
I only hope the rest of the Empire can see it.
We think we know where the Klingons are, at least the ones here in the Shackleton Expanse. We're trying to narrow it down. I think it's just a matter of time before we find them.
Well, then, once we found them, we can take the fight to them.
So we can count on your support for this?
So long as I breathe, the alliance between the Federation and the Empire exists.
I'm glad to hear that. And he'll offer his hand.
He'll offer his hand back. Slaps you on the back, and I looked as forward to seeing you in battle, Captain. And then begins walking away.
Hage will take a deep breath, and he'll communicate with Cass. Can you meet me in the briefing room? Bring Mar, Counselor
Vega.
Vega.
and I think that's all your characters, right?
Folks.
Yeah, you can keep Fox. somebody's got to sit in the big chair.
To be honest, I would actually love to transport over Fox because I would love to give Melini Silva a shot at the helm for a little while.
Fox can take command of the fighter wing that will be moving out here. That Jisha will absolutely be mad that is.
3 times in this episode, a Peregrine wing would have saved us.
No.
So, you guys meet up in the room. In the room, anybody who wants to say their last goodbyes is welcome to do so.
Ambrose will definitely be there. I want Ambrose there as well.
Demanding Ambrose's attention.
Mhm.
So we got those two. We got Kaz. Who else? We got Fox. We got who is Vren?
Varen is
And is me.
Okay.
We just haven't seen her yet
We've never met.
because we
Yeah.
haven't had
Yeah.
any need of an archaeologist or an anthropologist.
You did
All right.
a few roles
Oh.
when you were studying the space whale.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I did
remember-
like one
remember she
role,
is.
had like 2 lines.
Yeah.
Right. I will. We'll have to get more. of
She's
that
season
character.
1 Geordie.
Yeah.
Well, now that our chief science officer's gone,
Mhm.
So who is the other character? You've got the 3
I think
or
that's
4.
Mar.
Oh, Mar. Yep, Mar.
Vega, Cass Fox, Vega, Mar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cass,
that's
Vega,
everybody.
Fox, and Mar. I got everybody up on the screen now. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, this and a group of others. I mean, obviously, clearly, you're going to have to send some
sure.
engineers and
Mhm.
whatnot. So,
Lieutenant Shibernawa, the Narendra Station has asked for our assistance in restaffing, and I've assigned I'm going to assign a detachment to help them get things back up and running, and I want you to lead it.
Sir, you recognize that that's not my area of expertise. I'd be delighted to take on the task, but I'm a little outside what I've done before, sir.
you've shown me recently a talent for adaptability, and I fully expect you to bring that adaptability to this new task.
This
Don't
would
worry.
also be Kaz wearing a red shirt in this scene.
Oh, that's gonna be weird.
Don't worry. I'm not done with you yet. You're coming back, and I need my science officer. So,
That's an immense relief to hear, sir.
but enjoy your little vacation, and I'm sure the rest of you will prove able assistance to her while she's gone.
I'll keep him in line, sir.
He'll salute Guess.
And
I guess
she
it
will-
was in Star Trek. I don't know. He'll nod solemnly, and then as soon as they're gone, he'll turn to Ambrose and he'll say, "Well, this isn't what I was expecting when I ordered you to go on leave. I know it's selfish of me to say so. And I know I still believe that your mental health comes first. It should come first in your decision. But I would ask you to take your position again. I need you. Cass was a good acting XO, did the job, but I need somebody with your raw talent and your experience.
So at no point up to now has there actually been a declaration of war.
There has been no formal declaration, although, I mean, them opening fire is absolutely a declaration of war.
Mhm.
Okay.
The Federation will essentially be declaring, Martok is going to be declaring war on the Empire, what is left of the Empire, and the Federation has already been fired on. The Tural, I actually do have that speech. I don't have it written, but
Yeah, the
yes.
Federation doesn't bother declaring war until they're almost losing anyway.
Yeah, the Federation isn't going to be declaring
Yeah.
war, but Tural, Tural has the last thing you hear is that Tural is withdrawing from the Khitomer Accords, which is not war, but it's really the next best thing.
Mhm.
Okay.
So it's what Gowron did when the Klingons attacked during the war with Cardassia. They weren't technically at war with the Federation, but they were kind of pretty much at war with the Federation.
Okay. Well, sir, despite, I think, everyone's best intentions and well wishes, I suppose the Federation isn't done with me yet.
He'll take the com badge offered to him. I'm glad to have you back.
And I'm actually good with ending it right there. Unless you have something else you want to say.
I don't think he'd say anything. He just put the comm badge on.
All right. I like that. It's a good place to end the either season or mid-season, whatever we're at.
Sounds good.
Mar has definitely left Ambrose with a video guide to Vulcan meditation now.
Mhm.
Yeah, Mara is now the chief medical officer of Narendra Station.
I love the idea that it's a holodeck recording.
Yeah, I do like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just in case we come back to a session where you can actually be here.
Mm-hmm.
Be a fun one. What moment stands out most to you tonight?
I really like the scene between Hage and Cass, and then Yezabeth and Cass.
Yeah.
Cass. I liked that. And I liked learning more about Cass. Her insecurity regarding
being a breeder.
traditional Andorian gender roles.
Mm.
Anybody else? Who best embodied their character tonight?
I think Hage captained his ass off tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you. I liked Ambrose. I think Ambrose did great. Like both him, I definitely got the sense of him wanting to come back and not wanting to come back. And I thought you portrayed that really well.
I
Well,
liked
I mean,
the
that was genuine because I was expecting this leave to be like 2 or 3 episodes longer.
right. I liked the beginning bits with Vega there. I thought you did a really good job opening up the group.
Oh, thank you. I felt like I was doing as good a job playing a counselor as I do playing an astrophysicist, but
I liked the back and forth. I thought that I liked the back and forth on the arrow wing, and I thought that that Jisha actually felt. Yeah, we got to see a little bit more of her, like buy the book and then fuck the book. I gotta fly now.
Mhm.
So I liked
Yeah.
seeing that.
Well,
That's
we should have more Jisa so we can trade out one Andorian you can't pronounce for another Andorian you can't pronounce.
Yes.
I think Jesus is a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Jisa Shijin.
Part of it is that I can't see the screen properly
Ah,
Mm.
because I'm wearing the wrong glasses.
oh,
So
Well, that'll do it.
yeah.
yeah.
These are fine. They're just a little bit older, and I couldn't find my other ones today. So, what moment best exemplified someone else's character to you? Like, what moment solidified in your mind who someone else's character was?
I think the moment where we went to Red Alert and Ambrose was like, "Yep, no, we're gonna come back to this whole meditation thing. I got shit to do,
Mm-hmm.
even though I don't got shit to do."
I was really looking forward to that meditation too.
I had actually meant to do more of that and have the battle start mid meditation because I thought it would have been more dramatically
Yeah.
appropriate, but
Yeah.
it didn't fit. I
Yeah.
couldn't figure it out. So,
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I thought I learned a lot about Mills. Like not even the in-character stuff, but like out of character. I'm interested that she's so pissed off at the captain.
You keep stepping on security's toes.
Mhm.
I mean, but you didn't have any turns left.
It don't matter.
What motivated your character during the session, and how do those motivations change by the end of the session? We'll start with Brian. You can pick any character, or you can discuss all the characters. It doesn't matter.
I think Hage definitely felt a need to get Ambrose back. Like I felt, I felt that in character, and I think Hage definitely did as well. I think like if there was any worry that like he didn't listen to Ambrose, I think that it's obvious to him, and hopefully obvious to other people, that he definitely needs Ambrose. So that's how I felt Hage's arc was this session.
Okay. John?
Oh, okay. So Kaz has discovered her ambition. It's like, okay, I'm ready to take this next sort of half step. And then, oh shit, I'm in an administrative job and a red shirt on a space station that's been shot up. What did I get into, and how am I going to? Yeah, she's freaking out. She is massively freaking out.
Okay. Ev?
Mills has, and we didn't really get to see it because there wasn't a good place for any of the conversations that I had plotted out for her today.
Mm-hmm.
But Mills has been feeling a little conflicted and kind of adrift, and also a little scared, having been kind of gone from, I'm going to put you in charge of some stuff, to here's the security team.
Mm-hmm.
That's yours now. So her motivation at the start was to try and navigate her personal feelings and her professional feelings. And one of the scenes that I had planned for tonight was I was going to have her bring the training plans that she and Yesbeth have been working on to Cass.
Ooh.
And it just didn't come up. There wasn't a place for it to come up naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've changed in that, well, once she figures out that Ambrose is actually back, they've started to change. When Ambrose kind of came back on the scene, she's like, okay, maybe Ambrose come back and then I don't have to worry about any of this stuff and I can go back to slowly working my way up instead of surprise in charge.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Jack.
Whew, yeah, Ambrose. Man, I really throw myself into Ambrose. It's yeah. I mean, the thing with Ambrose is I don't think he ever actually wanted to leave. It just felt like he needed to leave, and that all the things that have been said in the official or unofficial counseling sessions we've done. It was that very reluctant to really just see for himself if the crew, the ship, the Federation would just move on without him if he truly wasn't, he wasn't necessary anymore. And then, just as he's been saying for the last several episodes, there's always another war. There's always another conflict. We never know what's around the corner. Somebody's going to punch us in the face. Surprise, war were declared. And he's currently, he is in such a internal conflict duality right now between the I told you so and I really wish this isn't the case.
That's really good. That's really, really good.
Because he doesn't want to go back to another war, but also he feels at home in another war.
Yep.
I really wish we had more episodes to play that out, but I understand that we don't. So I think there will be more to build on as we get back into this story, still easing Ambrose back into this while also ramping up the war, but that's on your end.
Right. I think it's interesting the way we're when you look at PTSD and the realities of PTSD and you start thinking about the notion of people who hide in conflict to avoid the conflict within themselves. I think that's an interesting dynamic to see Ambrose portray, because PTSD is a lot less about it's a lot about reliving the moment, but it's the stress of it really comes from the lack of your own control, right? So this is something else. It's that Ambrose feels that he can control war because it's what he's always done, and I think that's an interesting Ambrose trying to control the uncontrollable, and that being one of the major causes for the problems that he has. I think that's something to be fun to explore in the future. So.
Agreed.
What did you or your character learn today, if anything? I mean, Martok's still alive. That's one thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Martok
yachts
will
don't
never
handle
not be
like
cool.
peregrines.
Yes.
I really want my peregrine wing.
I always felt fighters were a stupid thing in Star Trek, but that's a discussion for another time.
There.
Anyone else got anything for what did you learn?
Don't think so.
Not really.
All right, good idea, bad idea. Anybody got one for that? Not a lot, really. It was kind of an exposition episode, so.
Yeah.
Having a peregrine wing.
What did you see from another player or character that you are looking forward to seeing more of in the future? I think mine kind of falls back into, again, seeing the development of the psychological aspects of some of the characters. I think is interesting. We'll see more of that.
Yep.
Anybody else got anything?
I want to see more Shajin and the pilots.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
nice. I want to see more Mills, like just more Mills in general, like her interacting with other people. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else anybody's got for that, or? All right. If you could change one thing about the session, what would it be?
I think I would have
part
found
about
a
me
place
leaving.
to put. Right. Yes, that number one. Also, I think I would have found a place to roll those Mills scenes in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would like that.
I would have liked
Your-
more,
I
a little
think
more
your call
time.
was right, but yeah.
Yeah, I would like a little more time for tonight's session because I didn't want to do quite so much cinematic, quote unquote cinematic. It wasn't very cinematic, but of the exposition at the last bit, I would have liked to have had more.
I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I wanted to. I had originally planned it out to be a little bit more of like you guys, some more roles and some hard
I-
tension rather
would-
than just describing it. But
Yeah, I would have loved to do more combat-y stuff there.
mhm,
But I get the time constraints.
yeah,
One thing I did want to discuss is I felt very acutely that a lot of overlap between Malini and Jerisa. In terms of, I think they need more to differentiate themselves. I'm going to think about what I want to do with Malini to kind of push her away professionally from the same kind of overlap with Jerisa. Yeah, that's just something I was thinking.
Yeah, Juice is a character that I really wanted to play out, but because I don't have my Peregrine wing, and you guys are so against it, I mean, she might not fit on the ship because I wanted her to be a fighter pilot. I didn't want her to just be a bus driver, as
Right.
so many shuttle pilots are.
Right.
So
and I got where you're going for with her, and I like the character. We'll have to do an episode. We'll have to do an online discussion, you and I, about and whoever else wants to join, about why I think fighters are not a good idea in Star Trek.
yeah, I'd be open for that.
There was a
could-
really good YouTube video. I'll link it.
Yeah, it might be something we can do as one of our off-week discussions, just to give some more content. Anybody else? Anything they want to change? They would change. I mean, I know what I'll change about next session when that is that John was there, but he won't be.
So many more things I wanted to do with all of John's characters, but
Yeah.
just not enough time. Yeah.
Yes.
We'll get there. We'll get back to it.
Yeah.
We'll get back to it. So, on that note, we can go ahead and wrap it up. I'm gonna remind everybody that we are taking a break. We may be on to do some regular content, but as far as the show is concerned, as far as the Europa episodes are concerned, we're going to take at least a couple weeks off, and then come back and see what we can do with some new, with down one player. John, you're going to be back sometime in August, I believe,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Which is also when my schedule changes. So with any luck, it will not change the day we play on, but it may have to, because I may lose my Tuesdays. But we'll see as we get closer. I'll know in a couple of weeks. Yeah, so check us out. Check out this show. Check all the back episodes out on YouTube, as well as I'm on all the podcasting networks. We're on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google, pretty much anywhere you can find them. We're on Pandora too, so it's everywhere. I'll have the rest of the episodes up for the rest of the season in about a week. I'll get all the stuff up on Patreon. All the stuff that I haven't done will be up on Patreon in the next 2 weeks. And then, the STA Engage will be back should be 2 weeks. In all likelihood, it should be 2 weeks. So that'll fill in some of our days here, and we'll discuss things. And if you have any questions, comments, or things you want to know about the way I do things in the game, or why I did something the way I did, that is a show that I will answer questions like that. And again, like I said, we'll probably do some side content. We talked about doing a Q&A kind of thing a couple months ago or a month ago or whatever, and we didn't do one. So that could be fun to do. You have not seen the last of this group. We will continue going, and we will be back as soon as we'll be back to do at least some one-type shot things. We'll do some stuff without John, and then we'll get John back, and we'll hit the ground running when that happens. So I have nothing else. Do you guys have anything else you want to add before we go for the we're going to call it mid-season break?
See you in 15 weeks.
Yeah.
All right. So long, and thanks for all the fish.